Ni gyd y gweld chi lawr fyna ar y traeth, a diolch fawr iawn i chi gyd o'r gwylfoddolwyr a pawb sy'n allan yn y cwched diogelwch. Diolch fawr iawn i chi gyd am pob cymorth i chi'n rhoi i gadw'r pencampwriaeth yma i fynd. Rhasys ar fi'n dechrau, bydd yn dechrau nawr gyda dynion sengl a bydd yn dechrau just ar ôl 9 o'r gloch.
What a beautiful morning it is here, and I am delighted.
Men's solo, repechage, 3 minutes.
I am delighted to be joined up here in the commentary tower by Caris Owens, who will be bringing you the action in Welsh. But as we are looking down at the beach here, we can see all the volunteers who are picking stones and clearing the beach and getting the boats ready. And I do know that we have 2 people who have their eyes on sight down there, Camilla Hadland-Horrocks and James Scotty Scott. It looks like it's getting busy down there.
Yeah, the beach busying up here in Saundersfoot in preparation for the first race of the day here on the final day of racing at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. My name's Camilla Hadland-Horrocks and I'll be taking you through today's racing alongside James Scotty Scott. And we've had the 3-minute announcement already for the men's solo repechages where we'll be looking at the USA facing up against Portugal.
1 minute. Put your boat underwater.
So 1 minute to go here in lane 1, representing Portugal, Claudio Rodrigues Barbosa. And in lane 2, representing the USA, Christopher Bach.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
And we're underway this repechage of the men's solo event. This is a knockout round for the opportunity to go through to the next stage of competition. And the Portuguese boat there, it looked like, Scotty, they were just trying to fix something in the boat before Claudio Rodrigues Barbosa was able to hop in.
Yeah, they were indeed. Looked like they had one last-minute snag, but obviously got it all sorted out. Both of the rowers punching out through a big bit of surf coming in. Just a couple of breakers flooding the boats as they went out. However, not knocking either of them off course. They're making their way out past that first mark now.
So around the first marker they go. The athlete from Portugal just taking a slightly wider line than Christopher Bach of the USA, who's a little bit more direct, and they'll be approaching that second slalom marker now. I think Bach will reach it first, and some very animated boat handlers here, just ensuring that from the bank these athletes can be steered around the markers correctly. And Neve, Caris, it's very bright out here, as it has been every morning, luckily, but can you see much of the action at the turning point?
We absolutely can, and what action we've seen already today. They're already at those turning buoys, and it does look like it is Portugal. Claudio Rodrigues Barbosa, over in lane 1 on the left-hand side of the beach, if you're looking out, has gotten around nice and quick ahead of Christopher Bach of the USA. Christopher had the fastest time trial 2 days ago, so he was I suppose one of the favourites coming into this, but the Portuguese scullers really putting it up against him here as they just come up towards that middle marker.
Do wedd y rhwyfwr o yr Unol Daleithiau wedi mynd bach yn llydan rown y marca boi ar y cefen fan nawr, ond mae yna bwa a gyda'r rhwyfwr o Portugal yn tynnu'n eitha tyn yn erbyn y final boi fan co, ond maen nhw yn ddoi yn brwydro nôl yn eitha caled fan hyn, ond o beth i ni chi gweld fan hyn, mae'n edrych fel y Portugal sydd just ar y blaen yn llinell rhif 1.
Oh, what an exciting race. They are just coming up to that final marker. It is just the Portuguese sculler ever so slightly ahead of of Christopher Back. There is a nice long sprint up the beach, so whoever is the fastest runner will really benefit here. But as they come towards you now, Camilla, I think it actually might be Christopher Back who is now just slightly gone into the lead.
Great Britain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
This is nail-biting stuff. Both athletes hit the beach at the same time, but Christopher Back that little bit cleaner, and unfortunately, Claudio Rodriguez Barbosa just gets caught up on his boat, and I think that unfortunately will be the end of his repechage, allowing Beck to make it to the line. You can just see how many elements affect these races. Just one small slip-up, and that can make all the difference. A great race, though, all round, and big well done there to Christopher Back of the USA in that first repechage of the men's solos. Well, folks, don't go anywhere. Short and sharp breaks between these races. And next up,
Put
we've
your
got the
boat in the water. 1 minute.
Next up, we've got the second repechage here of the men's solos. Now, we've had a medical withdrawal from this particular repechage. Maciej Zawojski of Poland
Get
will...
ready. Attention. Go!
So this will be Gregor Hall of Great Britain going it alone here in this repechage of the Coastal Solo. And that's because of that medical withdrawal from Poland. Now, because of the publicised progressions for this event, Gregor Hall of Great Britain still needs to contest this repechage in order to be able to move through to the next round, in order to make this all completely fair for each of the athletes, having raced the same number of races to progress through. Now, he's going to make it around that first slalom buoy with a lot of space there on his portside blade, Scotty.
Yeah, indeed. As you say, rowing it alone, but not leaving anything back on the beach with a full pace sprint down to the boat, obviously wanting to perfect all of that technique at full speed and get his experience on the water to full advantage when he's got a competitor against him later on. We're just losing sight of his progress now, so over to you, Niamh.
Thank you, Scotty. Yeah, you would think that he might go a little bit easy, but it certainly doesn't look like he is. He is giving it everything out here on the course this morning. Gregor Hall representing Great Britain from Stirling Rowing Club. He is just coming up to that turning marker. His lines were perfect. Of course, the wind isn't as strong as we saw yesterday afternoon, so people aren't having to face the bows into the wind as much as they were. So really good navigation here by him. Very clean turn. As you said, Scotty, he is perfecting all the different parts of this race to make sure when he gets through to the next round that he'll be able to have a great race.
Repechage 3. New Zealand, lane 1. France, lane 2. 3 minutes.
So Gregor Hall of Great Britain just passing that final marker now, looking so steady. I think he did reduce his rate slightly on the way back there, trying to conserve that little bit of energy because he will be racing later on, all going well here with the end of the race. So Camilla, he should be coming into your sight now. Hopefully he will have a nice clean departure from his boat.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. Hall will make his way up the beach. He is going to still have to try and push as hard as possible because remember, timings from all of these repechages used as part of the seeding process for the later rounds. And so he will try and make that dive for the beach in as quick a time as possible, but safe to progress to the next round. Now, we're already underway with repechage 3 lining up. In lane number 1, representing New Zealand, Ben Mason. And in lane number 2, representing France, Guillaume Borra.
Put your boat in the water. 1 minute.
The signal from the umpire there to put the boats in the water. That signifies 1 minute to go. The boat handlers aren't allowed to put that boat in until that instruction's given. And then they've got the job of ensuring that the boat is level, set, and held straight, ready for these athletes to sprint down the beach.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
And we're underway. This the third repechage here of the men's solo event, and the sea calms as they make their way towards the boats. In fact, commentators curse a big bit of surf there just hit them as they make their way now. A clean exit from the beach here for both New Zealand and France. Scotty, I'm not sure whether you can tell who made the most of that there.
I most definitely can't. I think they were pretty much an even split into the seat. That first stroke and then off through that first bit of surf. I couldn't really tell the difference from here. They both look like they've reached that first mark at almost exactly the same time. Neither rower giving anything away. Both just clipping the inflatable mark with the end of their blades, but not getting caught up. No one wanting to give any distance away from that shortest centre line out to the turning point.
Well, it looked like to me it was France that kind of got a bit of acceleration there, clipping the boys, like you say, both New Zealand and France going for that very direct tactic. But Ben Mason of New Zealand building speed here, Niamh.
He is indeed. It is the French sculler Guillaume Borra who has been out ahead from the start. He just took off a little bit faster and he did get out ahead of Ben Mason of New Zealand. Of course, Ben is a medalist from yesterday in the quad, so he's already gone through a lot of racing, so I'm sure his legs are pretty sore at this time. But as I say that, it looks like he has just stolen the lead there from France. He is powering out now as he makes his way to that middle marker. I actually can't believe the speed he's going now. He has really overtaken France here now as he just passes that middle marker.
Do Frank wedi cychwyn y ras yn eitha cloi, oedd e wedi hedfan mas lan i'r marker boi cynta ar ail un. Ond ar ôl yr bwy ar y cefen fyna, Ben Mason wedi tyrannu trwyddo ar ôl wneud y troiad na. A mae'r egni hyn wedi dod o'r hwle a mae fe'n hedfan nôl i'r trath.
The lead that Ben Mason of New Zealand has opened up over France is unbelievable. He is using that surf that is out there. He has upped the rate every time he sees a bit of a swell coming towards him, and it has just propelled him out into the lead. And I think he's just approaching you there now, Camilla.
Repechage 4. Finland, lane 1. Spain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Wow, Ben Mason of New Zealand just really caught all the best of the water on that run back to the beach, and that's given him a huge advantage here as he runs around the flag, cheered on by his boat handlers. Amazing there for the New Zealander. As France approaches the beach, still a great sprint for him to finish off his campaign in this men's solo event. Remember, a knockout competition here in these repechages, and some great sportsmanship to wrap that up too. Oh, we're already on to the next of our repechages. This is repechage 4. In lane 1, representing Finland, Joel Nakarinen. And in lane 2, representing Spain, Carlos Gonzalez.
Put your boat in the water. 1 minute.
Last bits of communication here between Gonzalez of Spain and his boat handlers, just asking which side of the boat his preference is to hop into. And it could all make the difference here as we wait for this final minute before repechage 4 of the men's solo, Finland versus Spain.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Both eyes set firmly on the flag there, both Finland and Spain. Nice clean running down the beach thanks to the work of our great volunteers who've been raking the stones and the sand to ensure that it's a nice clean run. And Gonzalez will be pushed off by his boat handlers. He takes a look to his right to see Joel Nakarinen still there for Finland, but it was a great start there for the Spaniard.
It was indeed. His boat handlers had the boat well underway before he'd even had his feet in, really. So he had a nice bit of momentum by the time he'd taken that first stroke, and I think that's given him a little bit of an advantage. As you say, it's a long sprint down the beach, which means one wrong step on this initial bit to the water could define the whole race. So they've got to be really careful to make sure that they get to the boat in one piece before they even get rowing.
Yeah, and the water looking not quite as bumpy as it did yesterday evening on day 2 of racing, and much calmer conditions here in Saundersfoot, but still a challenge to look into that sunlight and weave your way around those turning buoys, Niamh.
Absolutely, yes, but it is the Spanish sculler Carlos Gonzalez who has taken a nice lead. Since the start, he took off at a ferocious rate. We're seeing it from Spanish crews across the board. They're just going off really fast with their strokes, nice short fast strokes to get that speed up, and it really pushed him into the lead ahead of Finland.
Doath y rwyfwr o Sbaen rownd y cornel fyna, rownd y bwyn ar y cefen. Oedd e'n dyn iawn, ond wedyn pryd oedd e'n dymas, oedd e bach mwy llydan, ond mae wedi goffo cywiro hunan i gyrraedd y canol, ond mae yr un o'r ffindir nôl yn y gêm nawr yn rwyfo reit lawr y llinell.
And as we said that, and they go through that middle marker, it is Finland now who have really pushed up. We saw it in the last race as well. After that turning buoy, the crews on the far side are really using that bit of a surf, and the boats are being propelled through the water. So now it is quite even, but I do think that Joel Nakarinen of Finland might just be ever so slightly ahead of Spain, but there is absolutely nothing in it. As they head towards the beach now, they're going to have to get the legs ready because it's going to come down to that sprint, Camilla.
Yeah, and I think he's going to come...
Egypt lane 1, Canada lane 2, 3 minutes.
Well, I think Spain there just caught a great bit of surf coming into the beach, but it's a little bit of a clumsy exit for both. They're level and they both have to run around these flags in order to hit those buzzers. It's going to come right down to the wire. I think Spain potentially just ahead, but That's a photo finish there between Finland and Spain in repechage 4 of the coastal men's solos. What a race, and we'll wait with bated breath to hear the outcome of who will be progressing through to the next round. Well, folks, catch your breath and we'll go again, and let's hope for more close finishes just like that one. I think potentially it was Finland that just hit the buzzer ahead there of Spain, but what a brilliant race. And we're only on race 4 of the day. We've got so much more to look forward to. Next up, we've got repechage 5 of this men's solo event. In lane number 1, representing Egypt, Ali Hassan.
Put your boat in the water. 1 minute.
And in lane number 2, representing Canada, Aubrey Oldham.
Get ready. Attention, go!
A quicker start there for the Egyptian Ali Hassan. He just went on the flag. A little bit of a stutter from Aubrey Oldham of Canada, but it's going to allow for Hassan of Egypt to get himself onto that seat and away as quick as possible. But we know the Canadian boat handlers, they're great at pushing off their athletes into the horizon. And some big bits of surf here coming up onto the beach, Scotty.
Yeah, quite so. I think we saw there that half a second can make all the difference with the Egyptian rower just getting his bow over a wave before it broke, with Aubrey Oldham of Canada getting caught out and just having to push on through that breaking surf. I think that probably leaves the Egyptian rower with a slight lead, but you'll be able to tell us more with your view up there, Niamh.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Scotty. It was Egypt who got that better start, but at the moment it is Aubrey Oldham of Canada who has just taken the lead from him, just passing that middle marker now. Looking super long and strong here with his strokes. His 3rd time competing at the beach sprint event, so lots of experience. I know he was in the mixed as well yesterday, so well used to being out there on the course, but much different conditions today, but it is suiting him as he just now starts to approach that turning buoy ahead of Ali Hassan of Egypt.
Ie, mae'n edrych at y Canada sydd wedi cyrraedd y marker cefn na yn gyntaf, a mae'n tynnu'n dyn rownd hwnna a wedi cael bach yn araf yn dymas nawr. Ond mae'r rhwyfwr o'r aifft ar ei ole, a ni chi gweld y pŵer yn mynd nawr, a mae fe'n hedfan lawr y cwrs yn chaso Canada.
Incredible turn there by Aubrey Oldham of Canada. He just stuck his boat to that marker buoy and got around super fast. But Ali Hassan of Egypt has put in a lot of work here and is now pretty much even with Canada as they go through that middle marker. Ali Hassan just did hit that marker buoy ever so slightly. It threw him off just a little bit, which has allowed Aubrey Oldham of Canada to just go back into the lead ever so slightly. But with every stroke, Ali Hassan of Egypt is coming for Canada. I can see the surf coming in, so either of these can use this to their advantage. But as they pass that final marker, it is Aubrey Oldham of Canada who is now starting to open up that lead he had over Ali Hassan of Egypt. So as they approach you now, Camilla, it does look like Canada.
6, Sweden lane 1, Tunisia lane 2, 3 minutes.
Wow, indeed, Neve. This is going to be so close, much like the last one. I hope our spectators here on the beach have caught their breath again, because they're going to have to cheer both Oldham and Hassan back into the beach. The boat handlers for Egypt are running with him. They know that they can encourage him on, but I think Oldham is just going to get there first. Barely a few paces ahead of Hassan of Egypt. And the arms stretch out for the handshake. What a wonderful race there between these two guys. Aubrey Oldham and Ali Hassan. What great racing we've had. Let's keep hoping for more, as next up we've got repechage 6 of the men's solo. In lane number 1, representing Sweden, Dennis Gustafsson. And in lane 2, representing Tunisia, Mohamed Tayeb.
Put your boat in the water. 1 minute. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Well, it looked like Mohamed Tayeb of Tunisia was just trying to get the attention of his boat handlers there to do something. It looks like they've sorted it out now, though. He's coming around the boat to hop in. Same for Gustafsson of Sweden. They've both chosen the same side to enter the boat. And a great clean start there. No waves crashing over the bows like we've seen in those previous couple of races.
No, it can be luck of the draw, really, as to whether you get a bit of flat water in between the surf coming in or whether you have to punch your way out through the breaking waves. Complete chance for most part. But yeah, as you say, flat water there for both of the rowers. The Tunisian rower in his seat, slightly ahead, but I think they got those first strokes in at about the same time. And Neve, can you tell us how they're looking from up top?
Yeah, definitely took off at the same time, but it is Mohamed Tayeb of Tunisia who has now taken the lead over Dennis Gustafsson of Sweden. He is just going past that middle marker now with about a length of clear water, or more in fact, ahead of Sweden over on the left-hand side. So I think he just have to look over his shoulder there, had to readjust his line ever so slightly because he was going quite straight, a bit too straight even. But he is just starting to approach that turning marker now. So it is Mohamed Tayeb in the right-hand lane, digging that oar. He is going around, followed by Sweden, who look like they've taken a bit of a wider turn, but both crews now are straight and heading for the beach.
Dos wedyn fyna wedi cymeryd y troian na bach mwy llydan, ond mae'r ddoi yn dod nôl yn gryf nawr. Ych chi'n gweld y gwahaniaeth rhwng y rwyfo fan hyn. Le mae Tunisia yn gyda'r strokes bach yn llai, a maen nhw'n rhoi y pŵer yno nhw. Le mae Sweden bach mwy yn hirach yn ei stroke fyna, ond mae'n edrych ar bod y ddoi yn gyfartal fan hyn yn dod nôl o ble fi.
Both rowers now just gone through that middle marker, and it is still Mohamed Tayeb of Tunisia out ahead of Dennis Gustafsson of Sweden. Tunisia already after winning 2 medals yesterday in the under-19 categories, and it looks like they are going super strong here as well because they head towards the beach now.
7. Czech Republic lane 1, Greece lane 2. 3 minutes.
So as they head to you, Camilla, now it is Tunisia out ahead of Sweden.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Neve. Tunisia have had an amazing championship so far. They did the double in the under 19 solos events, and they're looking to secure a place in the last 8 here in the men's solo event. And I think that's going to be comfortable there for Mohamed Taib of Tunisia, and Gustafsson of Sweden will end his campaign in this event. But another great race here in the repechages of the men's solo. Well, we've already had the 3-minute call here for our next repechage and the penultimate repechage of the men's solos. In lane number 1, representing the Czech Republic, Aleš Šušky. And in lane number 2, representing Greece, Mikhail Kalensis.
Put your boat in the water. 1 minute. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Both eyes firmly on the sea there for those athletes rather than watching the flag. They were trusting their gut, trusting their sense of sound, and nice clean entry there for both athletes in this solo event, but a quick start there for the Greek sculler.
Yeah, both just punching their way out through that breaking wave. I think they've managed to get clear of the beach before a couple of bigger ones come in, just riding the top of them out to the first mark. As you say, eyes firmly focused on the sea, waiting for that fast sprint down to the beach, making their way out. I think both looking quite wide of this first mark, not wanting to get their all blades caught up in it. And Niamh, over to you to let us know how it's looking.
Yeah, the sun has come out here, so it is making things a little bit tricky for the rowers as they look over their shoulder to make sure they're in the right line. It is a little bit blinding, but they are doing a super job here, and it is at the moment all about Greece, who are just passing that middle marker now. Mikhail Kalensis there representing Greece, just gone through the middle one, followed by the Czech Republic.
Groeg ar y blaen fan hyn nawr yn cyrraedd yr bwy yn y cefen fan nawr, os mae popeth yn mynd yn iawn, a mae'n rownd y cornel heb unrhyw drafferthion. Dwi'n credu bod ni'n edrych ar gyfer Groeg yn ennill yr ras yma ac yn mynd ymlaen i'r rownd 8 ar ôl.
So just going around that turning marker now, and it is Greece who got the better of the turns. They're still leading it out ahead of Aleš Šušky of the Czech Republic. But again, we are seeing they are using the surf over in lane 1, and the Czech Republic are coming for Greece. They are just starting to approach that middle marker now, and as they go through, it is Greece who have just hit that marker now. It's thrown him off ever so slightly, but I think he still might have the lead just about over Czech Republic over on the far side. They are going stroke for stroke here, and now, as I said, it is I think the Czech Republic, Aleš Šušky there representing Czech Republic, who are leading it out ahead of Greece.
8, Netherlands lane 1, Italy lane 2, 3 minutes.
And now as they start to approach you, Camilla, this is going to be a phenomenal finish. I think Greece now just using that surf as they come up towards you.
Yeah, the acceleration here from Greece, although slowed down by a couple of hits of the boy, has all been made up by the fact he's caught the surf, and it's going to be Greece that exits the boat first. Remember, they have to go round the flags here. It's going to be even pacing here between these two. I think the Czech Republic will just get there first ahead of Greece. What a race there in this penultimate repechage. It's just so intense, these sprinting races at this world championship level. You can just see how much it means and just how much energy it takes out of these athletes as we line up and try to start our next repechage, the final repechage, the last opportunity to get into the last 8 of the men's solo event. In lane number 1, representing the Netherlands, Gert-Jan van Doorn. And in lane number 2, representing Italy, Giovanni Vicara.
Put your boats in the water. 1 minute. Get ready. Attention. Go.
What a rapid start there from Vicara, the Italian, a very fast sprinter we know. And he goes down into the beach. Just a little bit of a wave clip there on the ankle of Van Doorn. And the Italian, smaller in stature, but just allowing him to clip over the waves. And I think that wave, actually, Scotty, has just managed to knock his bows in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it did indeed. He just managed to come off a wave a little bit sideways down the backside of it and really pushed him across the course. So it took him a moment to get himself settled, back on course with the direction of his boat handler, steering him true round that first mark. Certainly with the boat handler up to his waist in water. Full commitment there as he jumps up through the surf himself. Neve, over to you to tell us how it's looking.
Yeah, these breakers are really throwing off rowers. Giovanni Vicara there of Italy did take off like lightning, but did get caught up, as you said there. Just going through that middle marker now, he is back on course and leading out ahead of Netherlands. Giovanni Vicara of Italy, of course, the defending champion in this category. So he is hoping to make it all the way again this year. So they are just approaching that turning point now, and it is Italy who are going to get there just ahead of Gert-Jan van Doorn of the Netherlands, but it is so close between the two of them. Giovanni just getting caught up there on the marker buoy, just got his oar caught ever so slightly, has thrown him off very slightly, but he is back and he is heading back, but it is now quite even. I think Giovanni has the lead ever so slightly, but very little between the two scullers now as they head for that middle marker.
Odi, mae e'n agos iawn rhwng y ddoi rhwyfwr mas o ar y dŵr nawr. A bydd hi'n ddiddorol i weld os mae'r llinell yn rhif 1 nawr gyda bach o'r swel o tano sy'n helpu'r cwch i fynd na bach yn bellach. Ond ar y foment mae'n edrych yn gyfartal o leif 1 eistedd, ond mae'r pwer gyda nhw iddyn nhw fan hyn nawr a maen nhw'n gweithio'n galed.
Oh, what a race between Italy and the Netherlands here. They are just coming up to that final marker. It is Giovanni Vicara of Italy just out ahead ever so slightly of the Netherlands. Again, either one can use the surf now on the way in if they up their rate. And we'll see now as they come towards you, Camilla, it does look like it is Italy ahead of the Netherlands.
Wowee, this is going to be another one for the ages here in this repechage of the men's solo. And Ficara looks across to his left with every single stroke to get the measure of Van Dern of the Netherlands. And it's going to be the Italian that comes out first. He's going to try and use the sprinting to his advantage. And oh no, disaster for the Netherlands. He falls out of his boat, catches himself on his equipment, and still a smile on his face though as he comes into to land on the buzzer. What a race. And again, that will wrap up this set of repechages in the men's solo event. We now have our last 8 confirmed for the tree, for the head-to-heads, and we will be bringing you that action a little bit later, where we'll move into the last 8, the quarterfinals, followed by the semifinals, and the finals, where we've got the medals at stake. Well, folks, welcome to Saundersfoot. If you've just joined us here on the beach, good morning. I'd love to hear you all. Let's give a big cheer for all of the athletes and all of our volunteers, all of our competitors here this weekend. Now, next up, we've got the women's solo repechages event. We just saw some really great close finishes in that previous set of reps for the men's solo. Now, I think we need a little bit of warming up, a little bit of competition here, not only between the athletes, but between our crowd as well. I think maybe a little bit of advantage here to one side, but I'm going to come over this way. And I'd love to hear a big cheer from our fans on the left-hand side. So 3, 2, 1, let's hear a big cheer from you guys over here. Go! You guys are going to have to cheer doubly as loud, because I think you can see over here there's a few more numbers. Let's see what the right-hand side can do. Let's get the crowd warmed up. Let's get shouting here in Saundersfoot. 3, 2, 1 to the team on the right over here. Big cheers. Wonderful stuff. Now, I'm going to come back one more time over here to the left. You heard what the right could do. I'm going to ask you one more time. Let's see if we can top that noise over here. I'm going to give you a countdown for 3, 2, 1. What can you do over here on the left? I'm being told that I think that I've got a French crowd. My French isn't particularly good, so I won't embarrass myself. But great to see so many of you here down here on the beach in Saundersfoot. We've not got long to go here until our first repechage. We've got Great Britain and Portugal going head-to-head in the repechage of the women's solos.
Can you tie that, punch it up? It's blocking my view. Perfect, thank you. Yep, much better. Oh, yeah. Women's solo, repechage 1. Portugal, lane 1. Great Britain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
So, folks, the first of our repechage is about to line up here. In lane number 1, we've got Portugal, Patricia Batista. And in lane number 2, we've got Great Britain, Helen Glover.
One minute, put your boats on the water.
Final moments before this first repechage of the women's solo event. Again, if you just joined us, this is knockout competition here to secure a space in the last 8 of this event here at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
We're underway. A very quick start there for both crews. Helen Glover of Great Britain will hit the water first as the beach reduces somewhat. And Portugal looks across there to see Helen Glover getting hit by a wave. Patricia Batista will ride the wave herself in her first few strokes of this course. But it does look like the double Olympic flat water champion, Helen Glover for Great Britain, has made a good start, but going rather wide of that first slalom boy, Scotty.
Yeah, rather wide, but I think got enough of a good start there to certainly make up for those extra couple of metres rowed. As you say, it's fascinating watching these starts with a bit of surf. Everybody gets the same surf, the same bit of water, but the timing at which they manage to get out through it can really define how good those first 100 metres go for them. And for the rest of the course, Niamh, over to you.
Thank you, Scotty. Yes, it is Helen Glover of Great Britain who is just passing that middle marker now, just a few strokes ahead of Patricia Batista of Portugal. So definitely Helen Glover got out nice and quick through those breakers at the start, and she is now just starting to approach her turning marker. She was staying nice and wide away from the markers, making sure those oars didn't get caught up. So let's have a look at her turn now. She is just approaching it, staying out away from it, making sure again the oar doesn't get caught up. But that was a super quick turn there by Helen Glover of Great Britain. She is back and straight heading for home, while Patricia Batista of Portugal is just around and getting going now.
Ydy Helen Glover wedi troi'n arbennig lan ar y marker top fyna. Wrth gwrs, mae'n nabod y dŵr hyn ar ôl ennill y pencampwriaeth Cymru a ennill pencampwriaeth Prydain Fawr nôl dros y misoedd diwetha. So mae wedi cystadlu lot lawr ar y cwrs yma.
So they're just approaching that middle marker now, and it is Helen Glover who has gone through ahead of Portugal.
Lots of support coming here from the beach from the home crowd especially. I can hear Great Britain as Helen Glover approaches. She's aiming for the centre of the beach, a bit of a longer run for her as she comes through
Repechage
into...
2, New Zealand lane 1, Poland lane 2, 3 minutes.
As she comes through into the sand, she just gets knocked by a wave, which is going to cause her to move even further towards the centre of the sands. A longer run for her. Portugal catching up somewhat with the more direct route, but it's not going to be enough to make up the distance to Great Britain, who will progress through to the next round of racing in this women's solo event. Final moments before this second repechage here of the women's solo event. In lane number 1, representing New Zealand, Emma Twigg. And in lane number 2, representing Poland, Agnieszka Kobasz-Dwojska.
1 minute. Put your boats on the water.
So the last minute here before we'll see these two Olympic medalists going head-to-head here in this second repechage of the women's solo.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Well, despite hearing chariots of fire, the pace is anything but leisurely here as the two athletes from Poland and New Zealand hit the waters in Saundersfoot. And like we say, oodles of experience between these two athletes on the flat water. Emma Twigg, Olympic champion in the single scull in Tokyo just last year, going up against the Olympic medalist from the quad from Poland, Kobasz-Dwojska, and they both look across to one another and looking pretty well matched off the beach here, Scotty.
Pretty well matched, yes, but I think it was a New Zealander that got a slightly cleaner start there, just managing to get the boat underway and moving before getting caught by that bit of surf. Again, that momentum helping carry her out through the waves and not get knocked off course. Niamh, you've probably got a good view of how they're looking right now, though.
Absolutely, yes. It is Emma Twigg of New Zealand who just seemed to get out through that surf that little bit better than Poland. They're just starting to approach those middle markers. New Zealand staying nice and wide, making sure she stays away from the marker, although her oar blade just got caught up ever so slightly, which has allowed Agnieszka from Poland to catch up slightly. As you mentioned, there's so much experience, both Olympians, both medalists at previous Olympics. And Agnieszka, of course, has a lot of experience in beach sprints, having competed last year and in the mixed as well yesterday. But as they approach that turning marker, it is Emma Twigg of New Zealand who has just gone around. She is already straight heading for home, while Agnieszka is just coming in now, turning that marker buoy.
Eisiau cymryd y brofiad yn y ras yma nawr, ond Seilan newydd wedi mynd ar y blaen fan hyn nawr ac yn gweithio ffordd nôl yn gryf tuag at y marca boi yr ailyn fan hyn nawr a rhwyfo nôl defnyddio'r surffrynydd yn ôl nawr mewn i'r trath ar y lan.
Repechage 3, Czech Republic lane 1, Italy lane 2, 3 minutes.
Emma Twigg there of New Zealand now just heading towards that beach, while Agnieszka of Poland is just starting to approach that final marker. So Camilla, it looks like Emma Twigg is nice and safe here as she just approaches you now.
Yeah, it looks like Emma Twigg will come into the beach with some distance and some cushion to be able to take her time with this exit, but definitely not taking her time with the sprint, trying to record the fastest time she possibly can here in this event. And a little tap with the foot there onto the buzzer will see her through to the next round in this women's solo event. And a big round of applause here for Agnieszka Kobasz-Zawojska of Poland as she takes this ever-shortening run around the flag and to the buzzer. A great matchup here between these two athletes, New Zealand and Poland. Well, we've already had the 3-minute call for the next of our repechages. This is repechage 3. In lane number 1, representing the Czech Republic, Michaela Popislava. And in lane number 2, representing Italy, Alice Romela.
One minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Very different starting styles there between the Czech Republic and Italy. Alice Romela just deciding to keep her head down and focus. The Czech Republic, Popislava just deciding to keep her eyes firmly on the flag, but both techniques, both strategies getting them away well. The boat handler, in fact, there for Italy, just getting caught up as Romela rows away, but the Czech Republic here with a fine start as she rides abreast the waves that are coming in and towards the course, Scotty.
Yeah, quite so. As you say, that slightly better start, meaning she could get out over the surf before it broke, which I think has just slowed the pace of the Italian rower ever so slightly as they make their way out to the first mark. A bit of wind rolling in across the course now. We've been watching it come from the horizon towards this course for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and I think that will build throughout the day. So for the first time today, they're going to have to maybe start to factor in what the wind's going to do to them on the course. Neve, can you tell us how it's looking?
Yeah, you're right, Scotty. We're seeing much bigger swells than it was even just the earlier races this morning, but both rowers are doing really well through it. It was the Czech Republic who had gotten out ahead, but Alice Romela of Italy has worked so hard to catch up. She is just slightly behind Michaela Pospislova of the Czech Republic at the moment. Both crews now heading for that turning buoy. As we can see, the bows are really jumping up and down in this water. Conditions definitely changing very quickly, but as they just come up to that marker buoy, it is Czech Republic who have taken a very wide turn around that marker buoy, whereas Italy are staying nice and tight. Both boats now heading straight for home.
Ie, gwrynedd Czech wedi mynd bach yn llydan fyna ar Eidal, wedi cymryd mantes, ond mae'r y ddoi wlad nawr yn gweithio ffordd nôl i'r traeth fan hyn nawr, a gwen i weld pwy sy ar y blaen nawr wrth bod nhw dy lan i'r marker yn fan hyn.
As they just approach that middle marker now, it is Czech Republic.
Repechage 4. Germany lane 1, Canada lane 2. 3 minutes.
So the boat crews now just making their final strokes towards that final marker. It is Michaela Pospilova of the Czech Republic just going past that final marker now, ahead of Alice Ramella of Italy. So unless anything goes wrong here in these last few strokes, we do see as they start to approach the beach now, when the water does get a little bit shallow, it does kind of slow the boats. But look at Alice Ramella here. She is using that surf and she is flying in towards the beach now. But as it stands, Camilla, it is the Czech Republic who look like they're going to hit it ahead of Italy.
Oh, this is beautiful from the Italian here, trying to catch up, riding the wave, and it just goes to show the skills that you need to be able to read the water, and it's gained her some time, but not enough, because it's going to be the Czech Republic here that take the win in this event. A well-fought win there for Michaela Popislava of the Czech Republic. We've already had the 3-minute call here for the next of our matchups in this women's solo event. In lane number 1.
Germany, do not put your boat in the water yet.
So the boat's not allowed to go on the water until the umpire's instruction has been given. In lane number 1, representing Germany, repechage. And in lane 2, representing Canada, Sarah Pigeon.
1 minute, put your boats in the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
It's only a couple of minutes each of these races, so every single step along this beach important in ensuring the best start possible. It's going to be Canada that hits the water first. Sarah Pigeon will get in and away here, pushed along by Aubrey Oldham, who we saw in the men's solo this morning, and he gets her away and ahead of Germany, who's just struggling a little bit with the waves in these conditions, Scotty.
Yeah, fantastic start there for the Canadian. As you say, the German rower struggling a little bit just to get a good catch of that right-hand blade, with the waves pushing her off slightly to the right. However, there's still a lot of course to run, and so far we've seen that sort of distance get made up, particularly with distance given at that end turning mark. Niamh, how's it looking?
Yeah, you're right, Scotty. These races are so short that all the little bits of the race count. Sarah Pigeon, they're getting off to a tremendous start. And as you mentioned there, the boat handlers actually went out further with her to make sure she got through those breakers much cleaner than Germany over on the left-hand side. So as they approach that middle marker now, it is Sarah Pigeon of Canada who has gone through ahead of Germany. Wind really after picking up out here now, so they are having to compensate for that and make sure they stay the right side of their markers.
Do'r helpwyr y cychod wedi helpu'n aruthrol fan hyn gyda Canada wrth i fe mas a gyfer y marker cynta. A o beth mae'n edrych o lent o Canada sy'n mynd i fy'r rownd yn gynta yn y cefen fyna a gweithio ffordd nôl i'r trath.
So both crews now just coming up to that turning marker. It is Sarah Pigeon of Canada who has stayed nice and tight, while repechage of Germany has gone that little bit wider. I'm not sure, did the wind throw her off a little bit? But Sarah Pigeon of Canada, so much experience in her boat. She's competed at the last few World Rowing Beach Sprint finals. She was in the mixed yesterday, and having that experience of the races over the last few days really helps with navigation. It helps to perfect your turns. So as it stands, it is Canada ahead of Germany.
Repechage 5. Netherlands lane 1. Finland lane 2. 3 minutes.
Both scullers now just gone through that middle marker, and Germany have put in so much work in this second half of the race to catch up with Canada now. Very little between both crews, and I think Germany is really using that surf. She is upping her rate every time she sees a wave coming towards her, and as I say that Sarah Pigeon takes off, she is doing the exact same thing, and again it is propelling her boat forward. So really, if these scullers use the wind to their advantage and use these surfs, they can really make up such big ground, because look at the margin that Sarah Pigeon has now opened up as they head towards you, Camilla.
Oh, it's just wonderful. Even the boat handlers here celebrating when their athlete catches that wave. It just accelerates the boat so much. And that's exactly what had happened for both of these crews. Sarah Pigeon, though, just fell behind the wave. It slowed her down that little bit more. Germany's repechage now onto the beach as well. But Sarah Pigeon, she looks to her right. She can see Shaq still around the flag. And that is a secure win there for Canada in this fourth repechage of the women's solo. Oh, don't go anywhere. These races coming thick and fast. We're already on the brink of the fifth repechage here of the women's solos.
Please don't put your boat on the water yet. Netherlands, please wait.
Crews just being reminded to wait for the instruction to put their boat on the water. That will come from the umpire. In lane number 1, representing the Netherlands, Karin Robbers. And in lane number 2, representing Finland, Tia-Maria Ratola.
1 minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
A nice low stance there by the Netherlands allows that power to be pushed away onto the beach and into the sprint. Every single step counts, as we've all said. Just such short, sharp races. Every single component so important. And as a big wave crashes in towards the Netherlands, she's going to get absolutely clattered there, Karin Robbers, by this increasing surf and swell that we've got. And you can really see the wind picking up now, Scotty.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's starting to come in across the course. And as you say, that little bit of surf, the timing of that, critical as to whether you get a good, clean start or not. We're expecting the wind to keep building throughout the rest of the day and all the racing. So it's going to continue to become more of a factor and more exciting from the south. So it's going to be an upwind row out and then a downwind surf back in. How's it looking, Neve?
Yeah, beautiful rowing here by the both scullers from the Netherlands and Finland. It is looking very even between the two as they head out the course towards that middle marker. Wind really after picking up here, so they're having to look over their shoulder, make sure that they don't get thrown off course. But as they go through that, boy, it is, I think, the Netherlands just ahead of Finland, but both scullers just got their blades caught on that marker now as they head out towards those marker boys.
Ie, mae'r amodau wedi newid nawr gyda'r gwynt yn dechrau pigo lan. O'n i'n gwybod bod hwn yn mynd i ddigwydd heddi, ond maen nhw gyd yn gweithio galef yna yn cyrraedd y bwy ar y cefen. Dwi'n credu tawr iseldiroedd sy'n mynd i gyrraedd yn gyntaf. Gawn ni weld nawr, a wedyn, a mae'r ffindir yn cyrraedd a nawr. O'n mynd yn llydan, ond yr iseldiroedd ar y blaen ar hyn o bryd.
Expertly turned there by Karin Robbers of the Netherlands, although she does look a little bit stuck, and it was the sculler from Finland who had to go really wide to get around that turn. So as it stands now, as they head back the course, it is Karin Robbers of the Netherlands who has taken the lead ahead of Tia-Maria Ratula of Finland. They're just coming up to that middle marker now, and it is the Netherlands who are going to get there first ahead of Finland. We can see both scullers now really upping the rate, particularly Finland. She is using that surf. We can see her speed increasing, but the Netherlands...
Repechage 6, Ireland lane 1, France lane 2, 3 minutes.
Great racing here by Karine Robbers of the Netherlands. She is just approaching that final marker on the way back to the beach. Long and strong strokes. She just got slightly caught up there with that marker. Didn't throw her off too much. But the Finland, Tia-Maria Ratula, really working hard here as well. Her blade also just got caught. Oh, and I think she's actually lost the oar, but she's going again. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes when you hit those marker buoys. But as they come to you now, Camilla, it is the Netherlands who look like they are going to get to the beach first ahead of Finland.
Yeah, such a shame for Finland there, but recovered really well from losing her blade, Ratula. But Karine Robbers, a masterclass in riding the surf here as she moves towards the beach, and she's joined there by the boat handler to guide her towards the flag. That encouragement, oh so important after you must be exhausted from tackling the waves out there. And it will be the Netherlands that take that spot through in round 5 of the repechages of this women's solo event. A bit of a longer sprint here for the Finnish athlete Tia-Maria Ratula, but encouraged well by our crowd here in Saundersfoot. Last few races here now in these repechages of the women's solo event. In lane number 1, representing Ireland, Monika Dukarska. And in lane 2, representing France, Edwige Alfred.
1 minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
A bit of lost footing there for Edwige Alfred as she tried to second guess the go from the umpire, but it's not slowed her down too much as she pops herself into the boat alongside Monika Dukarska of Ireland. And both will get hit by that same piece of surf here, not affecting them too much. Well handled here by both crews, but a wonderful start for the French athlete Edwige Alfred.
As you say, Camilla, a rapid start off the beach for the French athlete. Some significant pace propelling her out through that first bit of surf. However, looking a little wide on the first mark. They're both going to be affected by some wind on their port bow, pushing them to the right of this course. So they'll have to get dialed into that, watch the instructions of their boat handlers, both directing them back to the left to make sure they don't give too many meters away to the wind, pushing them all the way to the side. How does it look from up with you, Neve?
It is looking very windy up here, but both scullers here expertly rowing through it. So much experience in both boats here. It does look like France may have the slight edge over Ireland at the moment. They're just approaching that middle marker now, and it is Edwige Alfred of France who has just gone through ahead of Monika Dukarska of Ireland. So much experience, as I mentioned. Edwige, of course, is a really experienced coastal rower, and she was on the podium yesterday in the mixed doubles with her partner, while Monika, of course, is a world coastal rowing champion and 2 medals last week at the World Rowing Coastal Champions in the women's double and mixed double. So much experience, and they are just coming up to that turning buoy. Monika getting around a little bit quicker and a little bit tighter than France here, I think. So as it stands now, it is Ireland who have gotten out the better of that turn ahead of France.
Do Ffrainc wedi mynd yn llydan, bach yn llydan ar y bwyn y cefen, a mae Iwerddon wedi cymryd mantis o hwn nawr, a maen nhw'n hedfan lawr yn syth ar y cwrs fan hyn.
Yes, as they just come up towards that middle marker now, it is Monika Dukarska ahead of France.
Repechage 7, Spain lane 1, USA lane 2, 3 minutes.
Incredible racing here, both by Ireland and France. Monika Dukarska of Ireland making such good use of this surf. She is upping her rate and her boat is moving so quick. But Edwige Alfred as well working so hard here on the right-hand side of the beach. But as they just come up to that final buoy, it is Monika Dukarska of Ireland who has now opened up a lot of clear water ahead of Edwige Alfred of France. But there is still a bit of rowing to go. There is still a bit of running to go, but at the moment Edwige seems to be moving a little bit quicker. She's using that surf, but Monika Dukarska of Ireland just starting to approach, and it looks like she will hit that beach ahead of France.
Yeah, you're right, Niamh. I think the French athlete Alfred was just pushed over by the wind somewhat, the wind changing direction as we've already mentioned, but Dukarska perfectly aligned with her flag for the run up the beach. Amazing stuff here from Ireland, and she will get to that buzzer ahead of France in this 6th repechage of the women's solo. Not long to go now until the 7th of 8 repechages in this women's solo event. In lane 1, representing Spain, Teresa Diaz Moreno. And in lane 2, representing the USA, Cassidy Norton.
1 minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Twitching feet there from both of these athletes as they move towards the sea that's getting closer and closer and windier. Certainly it looks very bobbly out there. Huge cheers from the USA for Cassidy Norton. Lots of support here. And both having to restart somewhat as we hit these waves.
Yeah, both rowers getting caught by a breaking wave there. Good job to stay in their seat. It does look like the rower from the US, though, has had a little bit of a pivot, pushed out to the right, just come off the top of a wave, but recovering it quickly. Again, boat handlers giving them all the best instructions they can so they can stay focused on the rowing. They're going to have to work hard, though, to make sure that this wind coming from the left-hand side doesn't push them too far out. It's looking like it's going to be quite a long way to row back to the centre line of that course. What does it look like for you, Niamh?
Yeah, it is looking super windy, super rough here as they head out the course. It is Teresa Diaz Moreno of Spain who is out ahead of Cassidy Norton of USA. Teresa was on the podium yesterday, having won the quad. So again, very used to being out in these conditions when it was very windy yesterday. But Cassidy Norton of USA is putting in such a big fight. She had lost her oar just slightly off the start, but she made such a good recovery. Really long, powerful strokes now as she heads towards that turning marker. But as they head towards it, it does look like Spain will get there just ahead of USA.
Mae'n edrych o bod Sbaen ar y blam yn Meron y marcar ar y cefen ar ôl i'r Unol Daleithiau cael bach o drafferth ar y dechrau, ond mae'n gweithio'n galed i ddod nôl i'r ras yna nawr. Ond Sbaen yn mynd rownd y marcar cefen yn gynta gyda'r Unol Daleithiau yn mynd rownd amgylch nawr.
Just around that turning boy now, and it is Teresa Diaz Moreno of Spain who has gotten a really quick turn, and she is already halfway back to that middle marker ahead of Cassidy Norton of the USA. So handing you back to the starter now.
Repechage 8. Egypt lane 1. Tunisia lane 2. 3 minutes.
And they are now just starting to approach that final marker. We can see Teresa Diaz Moreno of Spain. When you get down in the bottom of a wave, it is so hard because it slows your boat so much, and that is allowing Cassidy Norton of USA to speed up the course towards Spain. And I know there are a lot of supporters here from both Spain and USA, and I can hear them shouting for them. Teresa Diaz Moreno there just getting ever so slightly caught on that final marker, but it hasn't slowed her too much. Cassidy Norton still putting in so much work here. We can see her shortening those strokes using that surf, but as they are coming towards the beach now, it is definitely Spain who just got caught on a wave, but she is still going. It looks like Spain will get there ahead of USA.
That was chef's kiss stuff there from the Spanish athlete. She rode that wave to perfection. An absolute masterclass of beach sprint rowing there from Teresa Diaz Moreno. The American now into the sands, and she's got plenty of support from the bank. We heard it already. So many cheers here for the USA's Cassidy Norton, who'll conclude her event here in the women's solo. Just one more round here in the repechages, these knockout competitions. And this is the final chance for athletes to get a space in the top 8. In lane number 1, representing Egypt, Mariam Abdelatif. And in lane number 2, representing Tunisia, Khadija Krimi.
1 minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Wow, that was great reaction times there from Khadija Krimi of Tunisia. And we've already talked about what a great championships the Tunisian team are having. Can they get one more athlete through to the latter rounds of this solos competition? And a wonderful start there for Tunisia ahead of Egypt's Abdelatif, who's well wrapped up as things get that little bit chillier here on the sands of Saundersfoot.
Yeah, both boats struggling a little bit with that first bit of surf at the beginning. I think the Egyptians slightly knocked off and taking a little bit of time to have to get the boat back under control. But then also the Tunisian out to the right got pushed a little bit far wide of that mark. It does look from here like the Tunisian rowers managed to get ahead the first mark, coming back in towards the centre of the course now to clear the second mark, which has to be left to her right-hand side. What do you think from up there, Niamh?
Yes, Tunisia had a flying start there, and it has propelled her out ahead of Egypt now at the moment. As you mentioned there, Tunisia having such a great championship here. They are just experts in this sport and well used to the wind. Both scullers yesterday in the under-19 categories winning and up on the podium. And Khadija Krimi here of Tunisia on the right-hand side of the beach wearing that red jersey. We can see she is just powering through this wind because it has really, really picked up here, but it is not slowing her down. She is looking over her shoulder. She is keeping her strokes nice and snappy up against that wind. So she is just now starting to approach that turning buoy ahead of Egypt over in lane 1.
Doedd y ddoi dîm wedi edrych fel bod nhw wedi cael dechreuad da iawn, ond Tunisia wedi cymryd y mantais a wedi hedfan mas o'r trath a nawr y cyrraedd y bwy yn y cefen a gweithio ffordd nôl gyda'r aifft ymuno amgylch nawr.
Incredible turn there by Tunisia. Khadija Krimi there representing them, and she is already on her way almost at that middle marker ahead of Egypt. And as I say that, the sculler from Egypt, Mariam Abdelatif, is using that surf over on the far side to her advantage. We can see the speed in the boats picking up quite a bit here, but Egypt, yeah, they're just passing that middle marker, but Tunisia are just out ahead. She has done so much work in the first half of the race to get out ahead, and we can see her upping her rate even more now as she heads towards that final marker, looking over her shoulder, making sure that wind isn't pushing her off the course too much, because obviously you want to be landing on the beach in a good spot because you have to run around the flag up to that buzzer. So as they start to approach that beach now, Tunisia doing so well across the championship, and here is another masterclass in how it is done. It is all about Khadija Krimi now as she just approaches that beach ahead of Mariam Abdelatif of Egypt.
Yeah, a great finish here, a great start, a great finish for Tunisia. And like we say, when there's not much time in these races, all of that counts. There's not much that you can put a foot wrong here in order to execute the perfect race. And Khadija Krimi of Tunisia sprinting very well still after tackling those tough conditions out on the water, and she'll secure a place in the final 8 for the women's solo. And still encouragement coming here for Egypt. Great run out there for Mariam Abdelatif of Egypt, and high fives all round as we conclude the repechages for the women's solos. We'll be bringing you those quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then ultimately the medal finals a little bit later on today.
Under 19 men's double scull, quarterfinal 1. France, lane 1. Netherlands, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, folks, what a great morning it's been here on the beach in Saundersfoot at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. This is the final day of competition, and we've got our first quarter-finals taking place now this morning in the the under-19 men's doubles. So 4 rounds of quarterfinals, knockout competition to make it through to the semi-finals here in this men's doubles event. So let's hear it for our competitors in this first quarter-final. In lane 1, we've got France. And going head-to-head with France in this first quarter-final. In lane 2, we've got the Netherlands.
So just a slight delay here for the first quarter final of the under-19 men's double. Just a slight problem with one of the boats, but we will be getting going now shortly.
Put your boats on the water. 1 minute.
So the delay has now come to an end, and just 1 minute to go now until this first quarter-final of the under-19 men's double sculls in lane 1, France, and in lane 2, the Netherlands.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Lots of support here for these under-19 athletes. And it will be France that move away first. First strokes already taken here in the French combination in lane 1. The Netherlands just getting pounded by a few waves there and having to readjust their course quite dramatically there, Scotty.
Yeah, again, the surf gives and the surf takes away, and it certainly gave the French an opportunity for a really clean start, just getting away from the beach a couple of seconds early enough to clear the worst of the breaking waves. As you say, the Netherlands getting caught up and pushed a little off course, so they're going to have some real work to do to make up that lost ground as they start to row their way down. But it does look like the French rowers are ahead at the moment, Niamh.
Yes, they absolutely are. Both of the French scullers there just got caught slightly on that first marker buoy. Again, if you hit it at the wrong place on the oar, it can slow you down ever so slightly. So it did allow the Netherlands to make up a little bit of ground, but they are just approaching that middle marker now, and it is the French crew. Of course, they were fastest in the time trial, so they are looking to put a good marker here, down here today. So it is France ahead of the Netherlands now as they head towards that marker buoy.
Do Ffrainc wedi cael dechreuad da fan aisel, diroedd wedi cael bach o drafferth yn dod allan o dŵr, cael tonnau bwrw nhw, ond mae'n edrych fel nawr Ffrainc yn mynd rownd yr marker cefen yn gynta gyda Rysel, diroedd yn dilyn yn agos iawn tu ôl.
Great turning there by France in these tough conditions. The Netherlands having to go a little bit wider to get around. So France now are headed straight for the beach. Netherlands just got caught up there slightly after that marker buoy, and they are now going. But look at this rowing and speed from the French crew, expertly using that surf now as they pass that middle marker. Zachariah Bouzet-Daho and Louis Barbara of France. Really great rowing here. We are seeing them using it, sprinting, making the speed go up in their boat. But again, it slows down every so often when they get off a wave. It is allowing the Netherlands to put in a lot of work here. They're really using that surf there as well. O'Nose and Bia Floren, they're representing the Netherlands. Just passing that final marker now. It is that French crew.
Canada, lane 2. 3 minutes.
It is that French crew who are still out ahead, but the Netherlands putting in such amazing work here. They are increasing their speed. It looks like the wave just caught them at the right time. They are flying in towards the beach, and it is just France ahead of the Netherlands, but it is so close, Camilla.
Yeah, this has been some comeback from the Netherlands here, and they're being shouted in by their boat handlers. France rapid out of the boat. That's certainly going to help them along with getting to the buzzer first. A great finish there by the French. The Dutch still leaping for the line. And unfortunately for the Netherlands, that will be the end of their campaign. No opportunity to progress further in the competition here in this under-19 men's double sculls event. Next up, we've got the second quarter-final of the under-19 men's double sculls. In lane 1, We've got Spain.
Put your boats on the water. 1 minute.
And in lane number 2, we've got Canada.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Both athletes so well poised. There is Alexander Joyner for Canada that takes the run out onto the beach. And a great leap in there for Spain as well. This pairing of Delgado Marquez and Gonzalez Bermudez leaning back into the wind as things get choppier. And like we say, lots of variables here, but certainly this bumpy water is something, along with the wind, Scotty, they're really going to have to factor in.
It is indeed. Things are starting to look a little bit more unsettled out there as the morning's pushed on. We've had this wind come in, shift around, so it's pointing across the course, coming in from the south, southeast, and certainly things have got a bit more bumpy. It's really hard to comprehend from the beach how rough it is and how much those boats will move, be trying to put people off their pace and their stroke. Neve, can you tell us how it looks from there?
It is so bumpy out here, Scotty. The bows are just flying out of the water, going up into the air, back down again, and it is throwing off both boats a little bit, but it is super even at the moment. Both crews are doing really well through these tough conditions. So we have Spain over on the left-hand side of the course if you are looking out to the beach. Canada on the right-hand side. Oh, it looks like Canada just caught a crab there. The bowman there just caught ever so slightly and it threw them off. They're having to readjust, and it has allowed Spain to get to that turning marker first. Super turn here by Spain. They are flying around and already on the way home, while Canada now, unfortunately, it took the wind out of their sails now, and they are just trying to get around that turn now.
Yes, Spain wedi cymryd mantis ar Canada yn cael crab na fyna wrth mynd lan i'r marker ar y cefen, a maen nhw'n hedfan nôl yn paso'r ail marker boi nawr, a maen nhw jyst yn defnyddio'r surf iddyn nôl mewn.
Something unfortunate. I think something happened there. Canada looks like the bowman just came off the seat after the turn as well. It has really slowed down the Canadian crew of Alexander Joyner and Beckett de la Siga. It has allowed the Spanish crew now to go into a nice lead. They are just coming up to that final marker now, rowing nice and steady. I'd say these guys are well used to these tough conditions because they look really, really smooth, lying well back into this stroke, and they are just flying into the beach now. And unfortunately for Canada, it does look like they are just a bit too far back now at this stage of the race. So as they come towards you, Camilla, it is Spain who have a big lead now over Canada.
Yeah, Spain's lead helped by that technical mishap in the Canadian crew where the bowman came off his seat, but a great run here for Spain. Letting up no one. No, a trip and a fall here. There's enough of a buffer, though, to allow him to recover, get up and hit that buzzer. And they'll go again in the next round of racing. This is for
19 men's double scull quarterfinal 3. Ireland, lane 1. USA, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, folks, it just goes to show you it's not over until it's over here at the beach sprint finals. Anything can happen in such a short period of time. And talking of short periods of time, we're already now onto the third quarter-final for an opportunity to win a space in the semi-final. In lane number 1 of this third quarter-final, we've got Ireland. And in lane number 2, we've got the USA.
Put your boat on the water. 1 minute.
Just 1 minute to go here. Lots of support from both of these nations here over the course of the last week and weekend. I think there's going to be plenty of noise here from the beach for Team Ireland and Team USA.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go. This is the third quarter-final here in this under-19 men's doubles event. Very evenly pitched here between Ireland and the USA. A great atmosphere on the beach. Screams from both of their supporters. And they go out into the waves. A huge clattering there from the surf for both the Ireland and the USA crews. And I think a slight mishap there in the bow seat for the USA as they come off their seat.
Yeah, they both had a big crash through that wave and off the back. At first, I thought it was the Irish team that had knocked the most by it, but as you say, I think the USA bow rower slightly off his seat, but only for a moment or two, and they're both powering down the course neck and neck. The Irish team looking nice and wide on that first mark, and now starting to make that turn back up to the left, directed by their boat handlers. How does it look for you, Niamh?
These crews are incredibly matched here now. Both crews really working hard. Again, the wind is so strong. Ireland look like they're taking a nice wide course around that middle marker. As they go through, it does look like it is the USA crew of Gary Rott and Malachi Anderson who just have a slight lead over Ireland's Shane Rafferty and Aidan Carney at the moment. But really, really evenly matched now. Both crews doing really well in such tough conditions.
Yeah, ddoi crew wedi cael dechreuad arbennig ar y traeth fan hyn, ond y tonne yn bwrw hefyd a wedi dala nôl yr unol deithiau tymau bach, ond maen nhw wedi pigo lan, ond maen nhw'n mynd rownd yn llydan a mae Iwerddon bach mwy agos i'r bwy wrth bod nhw'n mynd rownd, ond maen nhw'n dechrau ei ffordd nôl nawr i'r lawr y cwrs.
Incredible turn there by Ireland. They got around so quick. Expertly turned there by these two river rowers who are new to turning, but they did incredibly well. I know both supporters from Ireland and USA will be shouting at this point. It looks like Ireland are really using that surf now. They have flown past that middle marker just ahead.
Italy, lane 1. Great Britain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Both crews now really using that surf. Oh no, Ireland look like they just caught a crab. They are a little bit stuck. It's allowing the USA to work really hard now. And unfortunately for Ireland, it is the USA now who have gone into that lead, hitting that final marker with their oars. But anything can happen in these late stages. USA now having trouble with the waves, and it has allowed Ireland now to make up a little bit of ground. Oh, this is such tough racing for these young rowers. But now it looks like USA, Ireland now have got another crab. Looks like they're a little bit stuck again. So as they come towards you, it is the USA now who are going to get in ahead of Ireland.
Like you say, such tough conditions out here for these under-19 athletes. Ireland were getting pushed sideways by the wave and still continue to do so. But it's going to be Gary Rott of the USA, despite that slight clashing of the buoy, that will come home to earn them a semi-final place in this under-19 event. Shane Rafferty of Ireland will be the runner home. And well fought, despite those tricky conditions. You can just see how one wave, one bit of wind can sweep you right off course. And it's so challenging out there. The final quarter-final now for this under-19 men's double event.
Put your boats on the water. 1 minute.
So 1 minute to go. In lane number 1, representing Italy, Nicola Cenzone and Matteo Palazzo. And in lane number 2, representing Great Britain, Robert Collin and James Purvis Liddell.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, underway with this final quarter-final here, the last spot in the semis to be up for grabs here between Italy and Great Britain. A very graceful leap over the stones here on the beach for GB as they move out, but slightly off course, being swept by a wave. They're going to have to straighten up here as Italy just take their time, a little bit more patience for them getting away into these waves.
As you say, Camilla, a graceful leap over the stones and a graceful row out through the surf. The Italians really struggling to keep the boat straight with this quite choppy and confused sea on the first couple of 100 metres, making it very, very difficult. Once it catches the boat, starts to spin you sideways, it can be really difficult to get it straight again. But as we saw on the last race, the first 200 metres challenging, the last 200 metres can really mix things up as well. How does it look for you, Niamh?
It is so incredibly challenging. I think the worst part is a lot of rowers are coming off their seats and they're finding it hard to get back on because the boats are just bouncing up and down so much. As it stands now, as I head towards that middle marker, it is the crew from Great Britain, Robert Collin and James Purves Liddell, who are well out ahead now of Italy, Matteo Palazzo and Nicola Sensone. So it is quite challenging, and as we saw in the last race, just because you're out ahead doesn't mean you will win the race. They are short races, but absolutely anything can happen in these conditions. Just coming up to that turning buoy now, and it is the crew from Great Britain who are staying very wide, making sure they get around it nice and clean ahead of Italy.
Crew y Prydain wedi mynd rown yn llydan fyna, ond ni chi gweld wrth bod yn ymlaen, mae'r modau wedi newid siwc ymbyt nawr, mae siwc ymbyt o rhwyfau yn cael ei dalaw dan y dŵr, ond mae'r ddoi dîm, yr Eidal wedi cymryd un dyn fyna yn ddyn ôl, ond y ddoi dîm yn raso nôl yr cwrs nawr iddyn ôl y trath.
And then the expert rowing of Italy are coming back and putting in a big fight using those surfs that we're seeing in that lane one over on the left-hand side. And they have just gotten to that middle marker now ahead of Great Britain. So as it stands, it is Italy who are leading it out ahead of Great Britain, who have decided to go the opposite side of the marker buoys on the way home to try and get a bit of a straighter line. Maybe it is the wind pushing them, or maybe they are just being a little bit clever. But as they both boats now start to approach that final marker, it is so even. This is going to be a great finish, but just the bow of the Italian boat just going through slightly ahead of Great Britain. But let's see who catches the waves better. As we can see, those crews that are surfing the waves into the beach are getting in much quicker. So it looks like Italy just have their nose ahead, but Great Britain are coming. They're looking over their shoulders using that surf. I'm not sure who's going to get the wave at the right time.
Well, it's all about adapting, Niamh. Like we say, much shorter, sharper strokes from the Italians. GB decide to get out early and plant their feet onto the beach, and a messy exit there for Italy. It's going to come down to the run. Around the flags goes GB, and it's going to be Great Britain through to the semi-finals here in this under-19 men's double sculls. A brilliant race there that ended up coming down to the wire. And delight
Under-19
here.
men's double scull semi-final 1. Spain, lane 1. France, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, I'm here with our semi-finalists in the under-19 men's double sculls, France and Spain. Firstly, Louis Barbara, what is the most challenging thing about the conditions out there today?
There's no problem with conditions. I think just the pressure is here, but I have no problem. I'm training in these conditions, so no problem.
No problem at all. And for you, Spain, Ricardo Gonzalez Bermudez, what is it that you're going to do out here in this semi-final? Anything different?
It's probably condition, but it's a very race, and no, very.
So nothing different. They're just going to go out there. Well, we've got this next matchup, the semi-final between France and Spain in the under-19 men's doubles.
Put your boats on the water. 1 minute.
So, folks, you heard there from two of our under-19 athletes. Is going to require some mature racing out there here in these challenging conditions, and great to see so much support here for both of these crews. In lane number 1, representing Spain, Marcos Delgado Marquez and Ricardo Gonzalez Bermudez.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
And in lane 2, we've got representing France, Zachariah Bezet-Daho and Louis Barbara, who move out into these ever-increasing waves. And we heard there the French training these conditions all the time, so we'd expect a clean start from them, which is exactly what they've produced, Scotty.
Yeah, we did indeed. I think the Spanish rower got into his seat slightly quicker, but it was definitely the French team that were off the beach just a moment ahead. Again, that giving them advantage to clear the surf that came in, which just caught the Spanish team out. They're looking like they're going to cut this first mark very, very close. I think a nervous moment for the boat handler, but having run it over the outriggers, they are on the right side of it and powering their way down the course into view of you, Niamh.
Yes, and as you just passed over to me, the French bowman there just came off his seat. We're seeing it happen in every single race. If the bow is caught and put up into the air and you come off your seat, the seat just goes from under you, and it does take the speed out of the boat because you lose a few strokes. But I think the French crew have still hung on to the lead even after that mishap, really coming close to that second marker as well, while Spain stay nice and wide, making sure they get around the right side of it. So both crews now heading towards that turning buoy, and it is France who are leading it out ahead of Spain.
Ie, ni yn gweld yr ymodau wedi newisio gymryd nawr, a mae rhwyfr yn cael trafferth aros yn eiseddi ar y foment, ond beth yn edrych fel nawr to Ffrainc sy'n yn mynd rownd yr bwy y cefen yn gynta, cadw'n dyn ar un peth y Sbaen, maen nhw'n cadw'n dyn ar y cefen hefyd. Mae'r ddoi wedi dod rownd a gweithio ffordd nôl nawr.
Both crews actually struggled a little bit to get around cleanly out of that turning buoy, but it does look like that speed over in lane 1 is benefiting Spain over on the far side, because they are flying up to that middle marker now, really using that surf. We're seeing it in their crews over the last few days. They just really know how to work with the wind and with the waves. So they have now gone through that middle marker ahead of France now, who are just going a little bit off course. The wind is pushing them over towards the land here, but both crews still very much in contention for that final 1 spot. It looks like France really have upped the rate. They are increasing their speed, but as they go through that final marker, it is the Spanish crew who have the lead over France. Again, anything can happen in these late stages, and it's all about when the waves come and if you can use it to your advantage. Spain look like they're really upping it though, trying to get to that beach ahead of France. Camilla, I don't know, it's very close, but it does look like Spain will hit there first.
Yeah, Spain right on this wave, riding into the beach, which is so much quicker now. Are we going to get a clean run this time from the Spanish sprinter Delgado Marquez? We are indeed, but a very quick run in from France here. Moments separating a space in the final, and it will be Spain that will be guaranteed a medal in this under-19 men's event. They'll go again in the final in just a few moments' time. So we'll be preparing for our next semi-final. If we could ask the runners from those next boats to proceed down towards the start area.
Semi-final 2, Great Britain, lane 1. And United States, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Yep. I'm here with Malachi Anderson of the USA Under-19 men's double that's about to go in the semi-final for a chance at making the A final, the gold medal final. Malachi, it looked really challenging out there. We've seen quite a few people coming off seats and things. Is this something that you've trained for?
Yeah, my team and I have been training in Barcelona and Ireland for the past month, trying to prepare for these conditions. They're just insane to row in compared to my flatwater history and everything. It's been a real challenge to change my technique out there.
Wonderful. And I mean, for all of those out there, it would be great for you just to describe, you know, the differences between that flat water and the coastal stuff that you're doing now.
Yep, you really have to be on your toes because something can change at any moment. Someone or a wave can throw you sideways. Any little thing is going to mess you up. The ocean is against you in this sport.
The ocean is against you. That sounds very ominous, but best of luck there to the Team USA going head-to-head with Great Britain in this next semi-final of the Under-19 men's double sculls.
Get your boats on the water. 1 minute.
So 1 minute to go in this second semi-final. Who will be joining Spain in the gold medal fight in just a few minutes' time? In lane number 1, we've got Great Britain. And in lane number 2, the USA.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Well, a nice, short, sharp start there. We spoke to Malachi Anderson earlier. He said they've been training for this in Barcelona. They've been training for this in Ireland. And now they're here on the west coast of Wales in Saundersfoot. And a big push from the boat handlers gets them away about a boat length, I think, ahead of Great Britain here, Scotty.
Indeed, they've certainly been training for that run down to the beach, having a fast run, quick entry into the boat, and that definitely got them off and underway much quicker. As he said, the ocean is against them when they're out here, and I think the team that finds a way to work with it the best, as we've seen, how you navigate those swells, that chop on the way back in particular, can really dictate how well you can place and finish in this. How does it look for you, Niamh?
Yeah, USA had an unbelievable start there, but the team from Great Britain, again, the bowman has come off his seat and they are stuck there. Unfortunately, they're after losing a massive amount of ground. It has happened in every single race, I think, over the last hour or so, whereby one of the rowers is coming off their seat, unfortunately, and it has allowed the USA to open up a huge gap now in this, the second semi-final. Of course, they're looking for a place into that final one, and as they start to approach that turning buoy now, it is that USA crew who look like they're actually struggling a little bit as well, just getting caught in the water, but they have a massive lead now over Great Britain.
O'r Unol Daleithiau wedi cael dechreuad arbennig fyna, ond treni Prydain wedi colli y baw, wedi colli sedd, ac ymerodd e amser iddyn nôl i fynd nôl i'r raso fyna, a dwi'n credu, wel, ni gyd yn gwybod gyda rhwy falle unrhyw beth ddigwydd fan hyn, ond maen nhw wedi cymeryd yn llydan iawn, ond mae'r Unol Daleithiau yn arafu lawr nawr, so so'n i'n gweud yn siŵr pam mae na'n digwydd to.
Gary Rott and Malachi Anderson, they're expertly rowing through this wind and waves that lead that they have, they've just opened it up even more ahead of Great Britain there, who actually flew past their turning marker and decided to go the wide route around it, and it has allowed that USA crew to stay in the lead, opening up an even bigger gap now ahead of Great Britain. So USA there just coming up to that final marker. We heard from Malachi Anderson. He said the ocean is against you in this sport a little while ago, but it is very much with them here now today as they row nice and steady in through that surf. Looks like they are just going at their ease here, staying nice and calm to make sure they get into the beach without any problems. Great Britain, they're just getting caught up on the last marker buoy, but look at this, Camilla. How expert is this from the USA crew?
Yeah, it certainly looks like they're trying to conserve some energy. Remember that the finals take place straight after this, so they'll want to make sure that they've got fresh legs ready to take on Spain. Great Britain, they'll have to turn around for the bronze medal match if this result remains the same in the very next race. But it is going to be the USA that come home for a place in the final for a guaranteed medal in this under-19 men's double sculls event. Great Britain will be cheered home by the home crowd here for a finish in this final semi-final of the under-19 men's double sculls. So folks, stay tuned. We're going to have final two in just a second. That's the bronze medal match in this under-19s event. We've got Great Britain going head-to-head with France, with a place on the podium up for grabs. That'll take place in just a few minutes' time. How's your stuff?
Under 19 men's double scull final B. France, lane 1. Great Britain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, I'm here with James Purvis-Liddell, who will be taking place in the bronze medal match as part of the Great Britain under-19 men's double. Now, James, you've literally just raced in that last semi-final. How do you go about recovering in these kind of circumstances?
Well, yeah, it's quite a lot different to how we would normally do it. So I think just sat down really and just kind of pray for the best. You know, there's not much time to do anything else, is there?
It's very true. Sitting down definitely will help. And is there any changes that you're going to be looking to make following your semi-final?
Well, we've just stick to the plan of get to the buoy, focus on yourself, and then once you're round, that's when you can start looking over. You start trying to whip it back. As you know, I'm sure most people are seeing you at the mercy of the conditions to an extent, so you just kind of not worry about it. Just try and relax, really.
Wonderful stuff. Well, look, with a bronze medal on the line, we'll be looking out for that head-to-head race between yourselves and France. Best of luck for this final. Oh, here we go, folks. Our first medal up for grabs today here at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. This will be the bronze medal matchup here in this under-19 men's double scull.
Get your boats on the water. 1 minute.
In lane 1, going for the bronze medal, we've got France. And in lane number 2, Great Britain.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, underway in this bronze medal matchup here at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Who will get their hands on a podium place between Great Britain and France? A nice clean entry there for France, who get away just sooner than Great Britain. But like we heard just a moment ago, Scotty, Great Britain's tactic, get to the buoy in their own zone and then start racing against the opposition on the run home.
Absolutely. It's a race of two halves, really. You know, an upwind out through the surf on the way, you know, just needing to make sure they navigate the correct side of this slalom around the buoys, as we're seeing the French team there. Lots of directions by their boat handlers to make sure that they go the right side of it. On the way back, it's all about playing that surf well, making sure you don't get pushed too far off to one side, as we've seen a few boats in previous races really struggling with that element of it. So it's by no means over just on who gets to that turning buoy first. How's it looking for you, Neve?
You're absolutely right, Scotty. We've seen it right across the morning. Anything can absolutely happen. As they just approach that middle marker, it is the team from Great Britain who are out ahead of France. France had a little mishap. Again, I think it was to do with the seat just a little bit earlier in the race, and it allowed that crew from Great Britain to pull into the lead. So both crews now heading towards that turning marker, and it does look like Great Britain are going to get there ahead of France.
Ie, dyma'r frwydr ar gyfer y fedal efydd, a mae Pryden yn cael ras o'i bywydau fan hyn. Mae fe'n mynd yn arbennig. Mae'n ymwneud bach yn llydan nawr, ond Ffrainc yn mynd yn dyn yn erbyn y bwy fyna, ond dyma'r ras lawr. Mae Pryden ar ei ffordd nôl, a dyma nhw'n raso nawr i weld os allan nhw cael yr fedal na.
Oh no, it looks like France have gotten their oars caught on that marker buoy. It has slowed them down. They are just taking off. Great Britain having a bit of difficulty with navigation as well. They've gone right over into the middle of the course. It has allowed France to really pick up the pace here, but oh my goodness, they are being thrown sideways here. Now looks like as they go through the middle markers, it is now even between France and Great Britain. What a race here in final two, up for the bronze medals. GB just look like they're struggling just ever so slightly in these conditions, and it has allowed France to power up, but it is not over by any means, because the crew from Great Britain, Robert Collin and James Parves-Liddell, they are coming and going through that last marker just a nose ahead of France over on the left hand side. What a race between Great Britain and France. I can hear the supporters from up here. Let's see who can catch. There is a wave coming, so who can catch it? Who can surf in? Camilla, it is too close to call.
Well, you can just see how much the surf pushes on the French there as they close right up to Great Britain. It's going to come down to this run. Great Britain out onto the beach. France starting to move the legs. And who's going to hit this buzzer for the bronze medal first? Cheered on all the way by their boat handlers. A small stumble for Great Britain and France. Well, we'll wait with bated breath. There's the white flag from the umpires. A nice clean race. I think Great Britain think they've got it, but we'll await confirmation of the results there for the bronze medal matchup between Great Britain and France. And there we have it, folks. Confirmation that the bronze medal will be going to Great Britain in this under-19 men's double sculls event.
Under 19 men's double scull final A. Spain, lane 1. USA, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, I'm here with our two finalists now, going head-to-head for the gold medal in the under-19 men's double sculls. Malachi, we spoke to you just a moment ago. How are you feeling on the run-up to this gold medal matchup?
I'm feeling great. This is a dream.
Absolutely amazing, and so much support here from the USA. And Ricardo, how have you recovered post-semi-final?
We are going to try to good race. Okay.
Amazing stuff. Well, look, a gold medal up for grabs here between the USA and Spain in this, the under-19 men's double scull gold medal final.
Thank you.
Put your boats on the water. 1 minute.
So here we are, final one, the gold medal final in the under-19 men's double sculls. In lane number 1, representing Spain, we've got Marcos Delgado Marquez and Ricardo Gonzalez Bermudez. And in lane number 2, we've got the USA, Malachi Anderson and Gary Rort.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
A very fast start there by the umpire to get these athletes underway to try and get atop the podium here at the World Rowing Beach Sprints final. A small stumble there for the USA. Malachi Anderson just tripping into the boat, but they get away here. Big pushes from both the handlers with the top place, that gold medal at stake here, Scotty, as the conditions worsen.
Yeah, the sea's getting very, very lumpy, quite confused out there, so it's really difficult to settle into a nice rowing rhythm. You've got such confused sea, again, with the wind pushing them across the course, so it's a real challenge to settle into that. And as we saw on the last race, that downwind leg, there can be a few boat lengths between you, and just how you catch a surf, how you manage to ride the boat in for those last few hundred metres can change everything. How does it look for you, Niamh?
It is looking beautiful out here, so rough, but this USA crew, we saw it in their semi-final, they are just keeping it long, strong, steady. You can see that experience of river rowing coming through here, and they are really working well through this hard wind, navigating so perfectly around that middle marker ahead of Spain, who are just going through now. So it is that USA crew who have a nice lead now as they head towards that turning buoy ahead of Spain.
Odi, mae'r amodau yn drafferthiol mas fan hyn, ond mae lot o sport mas yma. Fel peiriant golchi mas yna ar y foment, mae'n teimlo fel. A unol daleithau sy'n cyrraedd yr marker cefn a'n gynta a mynd o amgylch. A dyma'r gysadleuaeth. Nawr, mae'n jyst yn mynd rown ar gysadleuaeth y gyfer y fedal air a'r fedal arian.
USA now just going around that turning buoy, followed quite closely by Spain, who decided to stick to the buoy and go quite tight. But that did slow them down ever so slightly because their oars got caught. But again, we are seeing that boat in lane one absolutely flying from that turning buoy to that middle marker. So it looks like now that Spain have taken the lead over USA. They are just passing that middle marker now, about a length ahead of USA. But there is so much of this race left. There are so many waves to catch by both crews. Super race here by Spain. They have really upped it. They are really going. Oh no, it looks like USA bowman here has lost his oar ever so slightly, caught a crab, and that has allowed Spain now to open up an even bigger lead ahead of USA. So just passing that final marker buoy, it is that crew from Spain, Marcos Delgado Marquez and Ricardo Gonzalez Bermudez, who have really benefited here from the conditions, who are just about to head and land onto the beach ahead of that USA crew of Gary Rout and Malachi Anderson.
Yeah, it's never over until it's over, though, is it, Niamh? Because as we saw, Spain in that quarterfinal made a trip up the beach, but I'm sure we won't have the same mistake again. The crowd getting hyped here from Spain. They know the gold medal is in the bag in this under-19 men's double sculls. Champions, Spain, and silver medal will be the USA, who will be welcomed home by the support of the crowd. But what a wonderful finish there for the Spanish, who will become world champions in this under-19s event. Oh, what excitement there. We've got our first gold medalist crowned, and in the water, in fact, our under-19 men's double sculls winners, Spain, will celebrate hard their victory and enjoy the rest of the weekend. But don't go anywhere. We've got our next quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals about to take place for the equivalent women's event. We've now got the under-19 women's double sculls quarterfinals. So just 1 minute to go here until the first quarterfinal of the under-19 women's double sculls. In lane number 1, representing Japan, Yasuzuka Sasa and Yamashita Miyuki. And in lane number 2, representing the USA, Annalisa Hall and Annalie Duncombe.
So just a slight delay now. USA just having a little bit of trouble with their boat, but it will be sorted in the next couple of moments, and we will get underway with the first quarter-final of the under-19 women's double, which will be a head-to-head against USA and Japan.
USA, put your boat on the water. 1 minute. Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, the first quarter-final of the under-19 women's double sculls event. We've just seen the USA pick up a silver medal in the men's equivalent event. What can they do here against Japan in their first quarter-final?
Yeah, really tricky moment there for the Japanese boat, just getting hit by a couple of waves as they were trying to get in the seat, but out. Little course correction there coming out through the surf, but they're both looking fairly well matched, both just slowed up at slightly different times coming out through the surf. Again, into the trickier conditions as the wind and the swells picking up, making very confused seas for them to row out through. How does it look for you, Niamh?
Oh, and just as you passed over to me, the USA bows person just came off her seat again. Every single race we are seeing it happen to one unfortunate rower, so it did slow them down ever so slightly there, and it has allowed Japan to catch up a little bit. So it is looking quite even now between both crews, USA and Japan, as they head out towards that middle marker. Both crews though really working well here with the wind. It is so tough. I'm looking down on the water. There's a swell, there is chop, there is high winds. It is so difficult, but USA really working well here. They've just hit that middle marker. It has slowed them, and I think the bow person actually just lost her oar now again. An unfortunate mishap again, but they do have enough of a lead that they are still ahead of Japan.
Do wedd yr Unol Daleithiau wedi cael dechreuad arbennig fyna, ond colli'r baw sydd cyn bod nhw cyrraedd y marker cyntaf a newydd ddigwydd to, ond ar y foment mae'n edrych fel taw yr Unol Daleithiau sy'n cyrraedd y marker cefen na yn gyntaf. So gawn ni weld, nhw sy'n yn mynd rown a mae Japan yn dilyn yn agos.
Just coming up to that turning buoy now. Both crews going around. USA just went in slightly ahead of Japan. Really quick turn by that USA crew of Annalise Hall and Annalie Duncombe. They are both crews now heading straight for the beach. Again, they're going to have to work hard to stay in a straight line so that they land up on the beach in a good position. I can see the boat handlers on the beach starting to make their calls, and it is Japan who are really working hard now as well. Looks like they are quite even with USA as they go through that middle marker. Just over to the starter now.
Quarterfinal 2, Germany lane 1, Canada lane 2, 3 minutes.
Incredible race here between USA and Japan. It is USA now who have gotten their bow out ahead of Japan. They just seem to have caught a wave at a good time, just going through that final marker now, and they have a length over Japan who are just going through it there now. I can see the bow woman in the USA boat looking over that shoulder, making sure she gets a good line into the beach. But we've seen it all morning. Anything can happen in these late stages. But as they come towards you now, Camilla, it is the USA who are landing up on the beach ahead of Japan.
Yeah, a few sketchy moments for both of these crews. It is so tough out there. The conditions pushing them around all over the place. But it's going to be Annalisa Hall for the USA that takes the sprint there. And she looks across to see Japan just onto the beach now. A moment of orientation for Japan as they finish their campaign in this under-19 women's double sculls event. That will be them, unfortunately, knocked out, and the USA progressing through to the semi-finals. Next up, we've got the second quarterfinal, another semi-final place up for grabs here in lane number 1 for Germany, Elisa Roma and Monika Bunsku. And in lane number 2, representing Canada, Alexandra Duggan and Elena Sarti.
1 minute, put your boats on the water. Okay, please relax a moment. Crews, relax a moment, please. There seems to be a problem with one of the boats.
Just a few technical adjustments taking place to ensure that the boats are ready to row out here. So important, given the conditions out there, that all of the boats are technically sound. And it just seems to be that the German boat is having a few last-minute adjustments made.
A big shout out to the boat provider Felipe, who are providing the boats here this weekend, and they are working so hard to make sure all the boats are up to scratch for these rowers. So if we're seeing a delay like we are now, it's just to make sure that all rowers have a very fair chance. So big shout out to the team from Felipe, who have been working so hard all week at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals.
One minute, put your boats on the water.
So you have it, just 1 minute to go here for these athletes. It's going to be Monika Bunsku of Germany doing the run, and Elena Sarti for Canada starting us off in this quarterfinal.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, we're underway with quarterfinal 2, Germany in 1, Canada in 2, and the beach gets longer and longer. That sprint as the tide goes out becomes all a more important component to this race. A huge wave there hitting Canada and a big crab there in the bow seat. That's really unfortunate. A slippage off the seat as well, and it's just allowed Germany to get away here. It just goes to show that when you're side onto the waves there, Scotty, this can be a very dangerous sport.
Absolutely. You've only got moments in which to recover from something like that. It's so difficult. Once the bow gets taken by that wave with the wind helping push it round, it is so hard to be able to turn that boat back against the wind, and it just pivots so quickly. Fantastic job by the Canadian rowers there to manage to get it back under control, keep the boat upright. It's in the most dangerous bit there where the surf's breaking, and it doesn't take much to flip a boat over. So yeah, fantastic job from both those rowers to get it going again.
Yeah, and a big shout out there to the boat handlers for Canada as well. It seems that they've managed to get their crew back on track there, this under-19 women's double scull, but the Germans just capitalising on everything. And Niamh, I think, although Germany just struggling a little bit around this turning point, and they're going to have to be careful here. It looks like they might be going the wrong side of it, Niamh.
You are absolutely right. They are working so hard to get to the right side of it. The wind is pushing. They're actually having to back, and it is allowing Canada, who probably thought they were out of this race, to make some comeback. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what's happening here on the water. We thought it was all over for Canada, but Germany have had to go around that marker to get at the right side of it. But Canada's bow person now has stopped rowing as well. I think there is a problem with the seat. This is just unbelievable racing, and this is what happens in beach sprint racing, particularly when it is so windy. And unfortunately the seat has come off for Alexandra Duggan there in the Canada boat. She has lost both her oars. She is trying to get back going again, but honestly everything that could have happened has happened in this race. So back over to Kieran Kerr, the starter now.
Quarterfinal 3, Spain lane 1, Netherlands lane 2, 3 minutes.
And just coming up to that marker buoy now, Germany have gotten around nice and safe. Canada, that bow person is just about getting going now. They're just coming up to that turning buoy. So unfortunate everything that has happened so far in this race, but there's still a lot of the race to go, so anything can happen.
Oh, boys bach, am ras i ni wedi gweld fan hyn, unrhyw beth allan ni'n mynd yn anghywir, yn wrong. Mae fe wedi mynd drian yn wmas yna, ond mae'r Almaen yn gweithio i ffordd yn ôl yn palu ffordd. Oh, maen nhw wedi mynd yn sownd ar y boi draw i Niamh.
Oh, Germany have now gotten stuck on that middle marker. Canada have gotten around that turn, so if they make up a lot of ground now, they could actually come back into this race. This is unbelievable. It just shows the wind is so strong. It's pushing crews onto those markers. Canada now looks like they've gotten caught up with the wind, and they are navigating over sideways into the middle of the course. I think they've corrected themselves, but also Germany have really come into the middle of the course as well. Both crews now heading towards the beach. Germany look like they have a nice lead, but so many things have happened in this race. It is not over yet. So Germany now coming straight into the middle of the beach, making that run a little bit longer for themselves by aiming for the middle of the beach. But like, big cheers here for Canada. They've had such unfortunate mishaps in this race, but look at them. They are rowing so strong. So I really want to hear the screams from the supporters now as both crews head towards the shore there.
Well, we've been on quite the roller coaster here in this quarterfinal of the under-19 women's double sculls, but making it through that roller coaster, it will be Germany that take the place through to the semi-final, but not without tribulation. And Canada, let's hear a huge round of applause here for the Canadians, who have recovered extremely well through everything that was thrown at them. The seat gets thrown out the boat as Duggan makes her way up the beach. I'm sure she'll be glad to see the last of that seat, given the problems it's caused her, and she'll hit the buzzer. A huge round of applause for all of those crews in that quarterfinal. That was absolutely sensational.
1 minute. Put your boats on the water.
Well, as the conditions continue to pick up, and we've just seen there a demonstration of what that can mean, we've only got more to come here. In lane number 1, in quarterfinal 3, we've got Spain. And in lane number 2, the Netherlands.
Get ready. Attention. Go!
Here we go, underway here with the third quarter-final between Spain and the Netherlands. And the boat handlers working extremely hard here to keep the bows pointing straight out in towards the waves. We just saw what happened in that previous quarter-final. We need to make sure the bows are piercing those waves and going straight, Scotty, rather than being pushed sideways.
Yeah, we certainly do. The boat handlers really coming into their own here to make sure that they push the boats out true through the waves. You can see them hanging on to the backs of the boat, swinging them so they're lining the bows straight up, right up until the last moment. Such an important bit of this race to get a good clean start. I think we can see there the Spanish team having rowed a nice straight line down towards that first mark, with the Netherlands bringing it back in towards the centre line now. But as that last race proved, it is not over until it is over. Anything can happen at any point on this race to change things around. How do things look with you, Niamh?
I still haven't calmed down from the last race here. Oh my God, the racing is unbelievable here this morning. So it's looking quite even at the moment at this point in the race between Spain and the Netherlands. Just both going through that middle marker there now. Netherlands just getting slightly caught up on the marker with their blades. It has allowed Spain, who have rowed a really lovely straight course towards their marker buoy. Again, we're seeing just expert navigation from the Spanish crews across the morning. It is looking like the Netherlands crew are bouncing an awful lot more. They're getting hit by a bit of a swell here as they head towards those marker buoys. But as it comes into the turn, it does look like Spain are going to get there just ahead of the Netherlands.
Odi fel y ras diwetha, mae unrhyw beth yn lle digwydd mas ar y môr fan hyn, ond mae Sbaen wedi mynd yn dyn i'r bwyn yn y cefen a'r iseldiroedd wedi mynd bach yn llydan, a Sbaen yn dechrau ffordd nôl lawr y iseldiroedd ar eu hole nhw.
Beautiful turn there by the Spanish crew. They stayed nice and close to the buoy, and it looks like the Netherlands crew are having to go a little bit wider. I don't know, is the wind pushing their bow a little bit, while Spain are nosing their boat in towards the wind, which is allowing them a much straighter line. But we are seeing boats are getting caught up on the surf. It is propelling them forward, but then it is slowing them down again. So at the moment, Spain are up on top of that crest of the wave, and they are really taking advantage of the speed that is picked up in their boat. But it is definitely not over for Netherlands here. They are really working so hard here in this middle part of the race. So just passing that final marker buoy, that Spanish crew, Miranda Torres Pujante and Paula Blanca Espinosa Linares, just coming in.
4, France lane 1, Great Britain lane 2, 3 minutes.
So as they approach the beach now, it is Spain who have that nice lead over the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Spanish wrestling this boat to keep it straight, but doing it so well. Such mature racing from these junior athletes, these under-19s athletes. You can just show the boatmanship that has got them to the beach first. The Netherlands just coming in now, but touching the flag just to be sure she goes around it. It's going to be Spain that nabbed that place into the semi-finals here. And the Netherlands not far behind, and it must be exhausting stuff out there in these horrible conditions, although exactly what these coastal rowers want, a big challenge out there on the water.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
The final quarter-final now here in this under-19s women's double scull event. The last chance to make it through to the semi-finals. In lane number 1, we've got France. And in lane number 2, Great Britain.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Just trying to second guess the starter there for France, but it's got them both out. GB just a little bit further out into the surf. France choosing to stay a little bit closer to the beach here, Scotty.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen that in a few of the races this weekend. People choosing a slightly different strategy, further to run, but maybe a cleaner exit. However, it is looking very evenly matched as they begin to row out through the surf here. As we've seen, though, getting out to this first mark, getting keyed into the navigation, what the wind's doing to the boat is really, really important to not lose too much space. Both boats a little bit down to the right, but I'm sure they'll be working hard, watching their boat handlers to bring it back up to the left-hand side of the course, knowing they have to leave this next mark to their starboard side. Neve, how's it looking for you?
Yeah, France had a brilliant start there now, and they are out ahead, leading it out ahead of Great Britain. And it looks like the bow person in Great Britain, Elizabeth Seckinger, there just came off her seat. She is struggling to get it back on the rails. I think it fell off, but she is going now again. Again, we are seeing it with a crew in every single race, but it is not over by any means yet. It looks like France actually went to the wrong side of that middle marker buoy, which of course means a time penalty. They are trying to back up now to get to the right side of it, which is allowing Great Britain to go into the lead here now. We are just seeing unbelievable stuff in these races. France, they're just stuck on that middle turn, doing their best to back up to get to the proper side of it. But Great Britain now have just opened up a massive, incredible lead over France here. France just managing to get their bow to the right side, the correct side of that middle marker. Great Britain thought it was all over for them when they came off the seat, but look at them now. They are up at that turning buoy with a big, big lead ahead of France.
O, i ni gweld popeth yn un heddi. Mae pob beth yn digwydd mas ar y môr na. Fel chi gweld, mae Prydain Fawr newydd mynd rown y marker yn y cefen, ond mae Ffrainc yn gweithio galed iddyn nhw ato nhw, ond os mae popeth yn aros, gan obeithio fi popeth yn aros fel mae fe fod, a mae Prydain yn gweithio ffordd nôl, fi nhw mlaen i rown nesa, ond ni'n gwybod all unrhyw beth ddigwydd mas yn un ar y dŵr.
In these conditions, I think crews need to be a little bit more cautious if they are trying to take the shortest route to the turning buoys. Lots of them, we saw it when it was calm, it was working to stay close to the marker buoys, but today we have seen now in the last two races whereby crews are getting caught out because they are staying too close and their bows are just getting caught at the wrong time and going the wrong side of those marker buoys. So it is Great Britain, the crew of Isabel Lancaster and Elizabeth Seckinger, who are taking a massive lead now over France. They are just coming up to that final marker. They look nice and steady. They're trying to just do their best to row nice and cleanly through these waves as they head towards the beach, followed in by France, who are really trying their best over on lane one, over on the left-hand side, to try and eat into the lead. But it looks like Great Britain have done enough to get in there, Camilla.
Yeah, you're right. Like you say, nice and steady into the beach, just ensuring no more blips here. They thought it was all over when their seat came off, but with France on the cusp of the 30-second penalty for going the wrong side of those pencil buoys, it's opened the door for Great Britain here to secure a place in the semi-finals of the Under-19 Women's Double Sculls event. Drama, drama, drama here all morning on the beach in Saundersfoot. It will then be France, who recovered well, but they had to row in the wrong direction to get around that pencil buoy to avoid the time penalty. But unfortunately, that's put them on the back foot here and out of the competition of this Under-19 Women's Double Sculls event.
Semi-final 1, Germany lane 1, United States of America lane 2, 3 minutes.
Well, I'm here with our first semi-finalist here in the under-19 women's double sculls. Monika Bunschu of Germany is with me here. Monika, have you been watching these previous quarterfinals and taking anything from them?
Yeah, the conditions are very hard, so it's important to turn around often and look what the waves are doing.
That's very good advice. And Annalie, you're here representing the USA. Obviously, we saw your boys double earlier take home the silver medal. Again, have you taken anything from that and the encouragement from Team USA?
Yeah, definitely. We have a super encouraging team, so we're just trying to stay calm and bring home the gold.
Wonderful stuff. Well, look, best of luck to both of you here in the semi-final of the under-19 women's double sculls, going for a place in the gold medal final.
Helps. One minute, put your boats on the water.
So 1 minute to go until our first semi-final of the under-19 women's double sculls. In lane number 1, we've got Germany. And in lane number 2, the United States of America.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Well, it must be pretty daunting stuff. A gold medal final place on the line here for Germany and the USA. They've seen what's happened in the previous quarterfinals, and we heard there from Monika Bunschu of Germany that you just need to keep looking round often, keeping your wits about you. And they push off now into the waves, which continue to pick up time and time again, Scotty.
They do indeed, creating ever harder conditions to get the boats safely off the beach and underway. I think we saw there the USA team were underway slightly quicker, but it looked like the back of the boat just got bogged down in the sand, with the shore team having to do quite the job to lift them and keep them back into the waves again. They've just come off a big wave there for the first mark, which has pretty much brought them to a stop, and they've had to get going again. As I say, though, what happens at this first mark, even the first half of the course, doesn't in any way represent what the result might be. Everybody's got their own challenges to deal with as they get further out. Neve, how does it look for you? Very challenging conditions from here, certainly.
Unbelievably challenging. And yes, the USA just got caught on a wave there again, just coming off their seat slightly, but they have gotten going as well. But at the moment, as they head towards that middle marker, it is the crew from Germany who have that lead in this race at the moment. We're seeing the waves getting bigger, though they were big on the shore all morning, whereas they're getting bigger out here on the course now as well, and it's really becoming really challenging. I can see Germany struggling there now as they head towards that turning buoy, but just as they start to approach it, I do think Germany are going to get there ahead of the team from USA.
Di mae'n edrych fel bod yr Almaen ar y blaen gyda trwch blewyn. O'n nhw wedi mynd rown y llydan i'r ail marca boi nawr, a maen nhw'n mynd rown y llydan nawr i wneud siŵr bod nhw ddim yn cael unrhyw trafferthion, ond mae'r amodau yn hala fe'n galed i nhw fynd rown yn glir, ond mae'r Unol Daleithiau just yn mynd rown nawr, yr Almaen ar y blaen ar y foment.
Germany did look like they struggled a little bit around that marker buoy, but they are out in the lead now ahead of USA, going super fast now as they head towards that middle marker. That crew from Germany haven't had too many mishaps yet so far in this race. They are really, I think they learned a lot from the last round, and they are just look really good here as they head now between the middle marker and the first marker. But look at the speed of this USA crew. They are doing such a great job now to eat into the lead that Germany have. Anneliese Hall and Annalie Duncombe, they're doing so well. It looks like they just have slowed down ever so slightly again, but the waves are coming and they are upping their rate. Germany, though, just going past that final marker on the way to the beach ahead of USA. A place in final one up for grabs here. It certainly looks like Germany are going to hit the beach ahead of USA, Camilla.
Yeah, the Germans having to just readjust their course ever so slightly, and they're now trying to aim for the right place on the sands. The USA being pushed sideways. They've become a victim of the waves, and they're going to have to really push around now. They're being heaved sideways by the swell, by the wash, by this surf, and it's just allowed the Germans to have a much calmer victory than they were potentially anticipating in those final few strokes, and it will be a place in the final for Germany in the under-19 women's double sculls. And let's have a huge round of applause here for the USA, who have mastered those final conditions to get themselves safely onto the beach, and it will be final 2 for them, and they'll live to fight another day for the bronze medal.
Semi-final 2. Spain lane 1. Great Britain lane 2. 3 minutes.
I'm here with Spain and Great Britain, who will be in the next semi-final in the under-19 women's double sculls. Paula, the Spanish team have been so great at reading the waves. Is that something that you practice for?
Yes, because in Spain we have a lot of sea, so we can practice a lot the waves, and if you know how to manage, you could do it better.
No, we've been really impressed by that. And just for you, Isabel, you've been training just around the corner in Tenby. Has that prepared you for these kind of conditions?
Absolutely. We've been on water like this before, but it's been good.
Amazing. Well, great stuff. We'll get you ready for your final. Best of luck to both Spain and Great Britain, who are going up for the head-to-head match to make it into the gold medal final.
One minute. Put your boats on the water.
So semi-final 2 about to get underway here on the beach for the under-19 women's double sculls, with a chance to get through to the gold medal final. In lane number 1, we've got Spain. And going up against Spain in lane number 2, Great Britain.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, a great start here as both crews propel themselves down the beach. This will certainly have been part of their training, these big, long sprints along the sand. We all know how tough it is to run with the sand underneath our feet. And then they've got that 250-metre slalom row into the waves now, where they've got to keep peak concentration to remain agile, as we've seen all through the course of this morning, Scotty.
Yeah, as you say, the run here starting to get quite significant now. The tide's on its way out. More run, less row. However, getting the boats underway again, big commitment there from the Spanish shore team. I think he disappeared underwater trying to keep the stern of the boat getting pushed out through that surf. It looks like they've slowed up a little bit on the right-hand side of the course, just clearing that mark. But both teams probably fairly evenly split as they make their way to the second half of the mark. What do you think from your position, Neve?
It is the crew from Spain who have taken a nice little lead now over Great Britain here on the near side to us. Spain, again, we're seeing it across the board, just going out with such short, snappy strokes to get the speed up as quick as they can so that they can motor through those waves. Great Britain were a little bit slower getting through those first waves, and they seem to be struggling a little bit. Conditions are so tough out there as they pass that middle marker. That crew from Spain, though, again, just expertly rowing through this rough water. It's very obvious that they've done a lot of training in these type of conditions, because as they come to that turning point, they have a nice lead now just over GB as they just dig their oars to go around that turning marker.
Odi, mae Sbaen yn edrych yn eitha pwerus mas fyna gyda Prydain yn trial dala land nhw. Sbaen wedi dod y glir rownd y marker yn y cefen fyna nawr, a Prydain wrthi mynd amgylch nawr, ond mae Sbaen yn gweithio i ffordd nôl gyda'r pwer na sydd gyda nhw. Gobeithio fydd Prydain yn gallu dala lan rhyw faint, ond mae'n edrych fel ta Sbaen sy'n mynd i gael y ras yma.
We can see how much the wind really is affecting crews here, particularly around the turns. It's taking a lot of strokes to get anyway straight to head for the beach. But look at this from the Spanish crew. Look at the leads they have opened up. Super racing here by the young crew in the under-19 women's solo. Miranda and Paula Blanca there representing Spain. Still really tough conditions for them. You can see the boat speed has slowed down quite significantly now as they battle through the waves. They're just holding on as much as they can, catching a few crabs. It has definitely slowed them down and allowed Great Britain to make up a bit of ground of the lead that Spain had, but Spain have gotten going now. They've gotten the speed back up in their boat, so as they head for the beach, oh, it looks like Great Britain have caught a crab as well, and just passing that marker, boy, it is so tough out there to try and clear the oars from these waves. But look at this from the Spanish crew. They just rode that race really, really well in these such tough conditions.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Neve. So tough, but Spain making it look easy. They rode the waves there, heaving that boat round to keep it straight, and they didn't get pushed sideways by the waves, and that will get them into the final one, the gold medal final of the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals in this under-19 category. Is then going to be Great Britain that roll up here in second. They'll still get another race. They'll be straight on to final two to fight for the bronze medal, and that will be the next race in just a few moments' time. So, folks, we've got two finals coming up. The first will be final two, which is the bronze medal match, which will take place at 12 p.m. So just a few moments' time. And then final one, which is the gold medal match, that will take place at 12:18. So don't go anywhere. Just a few minutes to go until we'll see the fight for the medals in this under-19 women's double scull.
promise you, I did say.
Just as we are waiting and getting ready for final 2 in the under 19 women's solo, it will be starting at 12:12, so just a few moments time. So while we're waiting, I just want to say a few thank yous. The volunteers, the officials, the technical people, all the local community, all the groups that have gotten involved to make this championships so special. We are here on the final day of the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals, and everyone has worked so hard over the last 2 weeks to make sure that this event just runs so smoothly. So a big thank you to everyone.
Mae'r ffeinal 2 ar fi'n dechrau nawr gyda'r menywod dwbl o dan deunaw. A hoffwn gymryd y cyfle hyn i ddiolch i pob un sydd wedi bod ynghlwm i roi pencampwriaeth anhygoel yng Nghymru fach fan hyn. Diolch yn fawr iawn i'r swyddogion sydd wedi bod yn trefnu am y blynyddoedd diwetha, y gymuned lleol a ehangol fyd, y gwirfoddolwyr gyd o'ch chi lawr fyna ym mhob man, a tu ôl y llenni sydd wedi gwneud swydd arbennig o dda, y technegion a'r criw allan ar y dŵr fyna, criw diogelwch. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi gyd am ymroddi ar gyfer y pencampwriaeth arbennig yma.
It is amazing to see such support here on the beach in Saundersfoot. So racing will kick off now in the next few moments, and we have a full afternoon of racing ahead. So after the final of the under-19 women's doubles, we will be straight into the first of the victory ceremonies of the day.
Final B, United States of America, lane 1, Great Britain, lane 2. 3 minutes.
Well, I'm here with Isabel from Great Britain and Annalie from the USA, who are going up for the bronze medal match in the under-19 women's double sculls. Isabel, you had a few technical difficulties in that last race. Is there anything that you've learned from that?
Just keeping calm and carrying on with just keeping each stroke going after the other, and not stressing it.
Yeah, no, and look, you recovered really well. And Annalie, you look really cold, bless you. I mean, is there anything that you've been doing to stay warm and stay recovered in this break?
I actually just got a hot cocoa, so that's been pretty nice. Putting on jackets and kind of huddling.
Well, look, I'm sure getting out there and sprinting down the beach will warm you up, but hot chocolate sounds great as well. Best of luck to both of these crews in the bronze medal matchup. Great Britain and USA going head-to-head in just 2 minutes' time.
One minute. Put your boats on the water.
So the bronze medal match now in the under-19 women's double sculls. In lane number 1, the USA. And in lane number 2, Great Britain.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go, down the beach, and a very long beach it is. It's almost doubled in size since we started racing this morning, this sprint, which makes it so much more important. And a great run out here by the USA, out into the waves. And Scotty, we were saying, you know, that first slalom boy now very, very close to the beach. They have to go the right-hand side as we're looking at it from the beach here to ensure that they don't get a 30-second penalty. And then it's around the left-hand side of that one further out, and then back around the other way on the big orange turning point, and very even pittings here between Great Britain and the USA.
Yeah, it certainly is. As you say, the fact the tide, you know, is racing out here, making more and more beach and less course by the minute. And that does mean that those navigational kind of errors at the beginning, when a boat gets picked up by the surf, there's so much less time to correct that before you're at the mark, which means the important job of the boat handlers to get the boats going out in the right line is, you know, even more so important. Making their way out to the second mark now. Neve, you've probably got the best view of it from there.
Yes, incredibly even between both crews at the moment as they're just coming up towards that middle marker. If anyone is ahead, I think it is the USA over on the right-hand side, just ahead of GB. Sorry, I mixed those up there. They're both wearing similar colours, but very, very even as they just head out towards those marker boys. So USA over on the left-hand side, if you are looking out at the beach, GBR on the right. So even, I think both crews learned so much over the last few races, both having mishaps, but nothing so far. Both of them are rowing nice and cleanly and really working hard through these conditions. It does look like Great Britain are having to work hard to get to the right side of that turning buoy. USA just getting in and turning. GBR just behind them. Both crews now around. I think the USA might have gotten the better turn, but still very even between both crews.
Odi, mae'r ddoi grw fan hyn nawr yn eitha cyfartal. Ni'n gweld bod nhw wedi dysgu o rasis diwetha gyda'r amodau sy'n mas ar y dŵr nawr, a maen nhw yn mynd yn llydan. Oddi wrth y ddoi bwy ymlaen y canol nawr. Ond, unol daleithau yn dod mewn drwy'r canol fan hyn nawr, ond Prydain yn chaso nhw lawr hefyd.
USA there got a huge advantage after the turning buoy, but the speed that the boat took off at did mean that they have caught a couple of crabs and their speed has slowed down now again. Great Britain, they're just catching their blades on that middle marker, but the USA are really fighting hard. They're really working well with these conditions, but Great Britain are coming as well. As we can see, the bows are just being thrown all over the place as they head towards the beach. USA, they're in the lead, but they are struggling through those conditions. Blades getting caught. Oh no, they have caught crabs on both sides there. Just getting going, as have Great Britain. They are now also caught. Strokes person there, Isabel Lancaster, just getting caught the oar, leaving her hand, but she has gotten going again. What another finish to this race as they approach the beach now. To you, Camilla. USA look like they are getting there nice and safe ahead of Great Britain.
Wow, that was quite something. Both crews being pushed by the waves the wrong direction, and this run is more important than ever before. The length of the beach, meaning the sprint is that much longer, but the bronze medal will go to the USA in the under-19 women's double scull. Great Britain encouraged along by the crowds here in Saundersfoot, and a great matchup all round there, with the bronze medal being awarded to the United States of America. So we'll move now on to the gold medal matchup in just a few moments' time. Celebrations for the USA. And if you want to see these medal ceremonies, they'll be taking place up in the Harbour Lounge, just around up on the shore. So make sure that you make your way straight after racing up to the Harbour Lounge to be able to see the medal ceremonies from this morning's finals.
Final A, Spain lane 1, Germany lane 2, 3 minutes.
It's hard, isn't it, doing that? I'm here with the finalists for the gold medal match in the under-19 women's double sculls, Germany and Spain. Monica, the beach is getting longer and longer. How do you rate your sprinting skills?
I think it's okay, but not perfect.
And I'm going to ask the same question to you, Paula.
Yeah, me too, but I think that, well, the same as she.
And how much of a part to play does that have in this race?
I think it's important to start fast, but I think it's more important to handle the waves in a good way.
Yes, I think the same as she. The waves is too important, and if you know how to manage, it's perfect for catch a medal.
Amazing stuff. Well, best of luck to both of you. The gold medal on the line here in this under-19 women's double sculls event, Germany and Spain, in just 1 moment's time.
1 minute, put your boats on the water.
So here we are, folks, the gold medal final in the under-19 women's double sculls. In lane number 1, we've got Spain. And in lane number 2, we've got Germany.
Get ready. Attention. Go.
Here we go. We talked about this run being important, but not as important as tackling the waves out there. Both Spain and Germany head out to try and get their hands on a gold medal here at this World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. And the conditions looking particularly coastal out here, particularly wavy, and they'll be relishing every moment of this, Scotty.
Yeah, these are ideal coastal rowing conditions. You know, they have to test and demonstrate every bit of their rowing ability as well as seamanship, keeping the boats going well in really, really difficult conditions. They've both managing to clear that first mark with ease. As I say, there's so little space now between the beach and that first mark that any mistakes there are pretty unforgivable, but they've both managed to get through that bit. And Niamh, tell us how they're looking on the way out to the second mark.
Yeah, both crews went quite narrow around that first marker. Germany just getting caught slightly with their blades. Spain did get off very quick. Once again, we're seeing it across the board. So quick out of the blocks and not being affected by those waves. Germany just getting caught up a little bit by a wave there, and that is allowing Spain to pass through that middle marker ahead of Germany, but quite evenly matched here. Still a long way to go. We can see Spain's bow flying up and down into the air and out of the water, but Germany now looking really strong and smooth as they head towards the marker, boys. It's going to be very tight, but it does look like Spain might just get there just ahead of Germany.
Odi, mae yn edrych yn gyfartal iawn yn mynd lan am yr marker cefn na fyna, ond mae Sbaen just ar y blaen, tymed bach, ond maen nhw wedi dysgu wrth y rhasys diwetha eto bod nhw yn mynd rownd yn llydan neu blaw y marker na ar y cefn. Sbaen yn tynnu ddyn dyn iawn rownd fyna a dechrau gwaith ffordd nôl nawr ar y cwrs, ond yr Almaen yn dilyn yn agos tu ôl. A gawn ni weld nawr wrth bod nhw lawr y cwrs nawr pwy fydd yn cyrraedd y pen yn gyntaf.
Incredible turn there by Spain. They have upped their rate using the waves to their advantage now ahead of Germany, who have just gotten stuck again a little bit on a wave. I think the waves are hitting them at the wrong time, unfortunately. So that is allowing Spain to pass through that middle marker. And Germany, they're getting caught on a surf and it has thrown them off course just ever so slightly. So they're having to really work hard to correct themselves to make sure they get that straight line into the beach. But look at this from Spain. Absolutely beautiful rowing, really handling the conditions perfectly. Still a long way to go there. There's still a bit of the worst of the waves to come, as well as that long sprint up that beach. Germany really again using these surfing waves to come in as quick as they can. Looks like Spain are struggling ever so slightly. Their boat does seem to be caught at the back of a wave. They are really grinding hard to try and get into that beach nice and safely and not let their boat turn. So Camilla, Spain look like they are out and coming for you. A little stumble there, but I think they might be crown champions.
Yeah, screams of yes from the Spanish athletes. They know that the gold medal is within their grasp. They've been practically faultless through this whole championships, and it will be Spain, the under-19 women's doubles champions at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Germany will come home for the silver medal. They won't go home empty-handed. A great race all round, and amazing racing to finish off this morning session here on the beach in Saundersfoot. You can catch the medal presentations in just a moment's time up in the Harbour Lounge. But huge congratulations there to Spain. Once again, double champions, 2 gold medals to take home this morning for them. I would be absolutely delighted if I was a fan of Spanish rowing. And Don't go too far. We'll be back here racing again from 3 p.m. down here on the beach. We've got the quarterfinals for the under-19 mixed double sculls, and then the finals for the men's and women's solos. Huge thank you to everyone for coming to support here this morning. We'll see you back this afternoon, and make sure that you catch our medal presentations in just a few moments' time.
Hello.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. This is microphone for presenter number 1. This is microphone for presenter number 1. This is microphone for presenter number 2. This is microphone for presenter number 2.
Okay, presenter 1 and presenter 2. 1, 2.
What's the dance company? Do we know the name?
No.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Can I have some music, please? Some music.
The victory ceremony for the under-19 men's double.
Y seremoni fuddigol ar gyfer y dwbl y dynion o dan 19.
The medals will be presented by
Cyflwynwyd y medalau gan
World Rowing Executive Committee member
Aelod Pwyllgor Gweithredol Rhwyfo'r Byd
Eva Savanto. Winners of the bronze medal,
Enillwyr y fedal efydd
Great Britain. Great Britain represented by
Cynrychiolwyd Prydain Fawr gan
Robert Collin and James Purves Liddell. Winners of the silver medal,
Enillwyr y fedal arian
United States of America. USA represented by
Cynrychiolwyd yr Unol Daleithiau America gan
Gary Rout and Malachi Anderson. Winners of the gold medal and 2022 World Rowing Beach Sprint Final champions,
Enillwyr y fedal air a campwyr sprint traeth Rhwyfo'r Byd 2022
Spain. Spain represented by
Cynrychiolwyd Sbaen gan
Marcos Delgado Marquez and Ricardo Gonzalez Bermudez. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Spain.
Boneddigion a boneddigesau, Anthem Genedlaethol Sbaen.
Thank you to the presenter of our medals, World Rowing Executive Committee member Frida Svensson. Let's hear it for our medalists.
Llongyfarchiadau i'r medalwyr.
The victory ceremony for the under-19 women's double.
Y seremoni fuddigol ar gyfer y dwbl y menywod o dan 19.
The medals will be presented by
Cyflwynwyd y medalau gan
World Rowing Executive Committee member
Aelod Pwyllgor Gweithredol Rhwyfo'r Byd
Patrick Rombo. Winners of the bronze medal
yn cwyr y fedal efydd.
The United States of America. USA represented by
Cynrychiolwyd yr Unol Daleithiau o America gan
Annalise Hall and Annalie Duncombe. Winners of the silver medal
enillwyr y fedal arian.
Germany. Germany represented by
Cynrychiolwyd yr Almaen gan
Elisa Romer and Monica Bonchou. Winners of the gold medal and 2022 World Rowing Beach Sprint Final Champions.
Enillwyr y fedal aur a phencampwyr sprintraeth Rhwyfo'r Byd 2022.
Spain. Spain represented by
Cynrychiolwyd Sbaen gan
Miranda Torres Puyante and Paula Blanca Espinos Linares. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Spain.
Boneddigion a boneddigesau, Anthem Genedlaethol Sbaen.
Let's hear it for our medalists.
Llongyfarchiadau i'r medalwyr.
This song is being especially played for our Spanish supporters that are here in the crowd. So let's get some dancing going, and we will see you all back here at 3 o'clock for the next round of racing.
Are we going back to this one?
Yes.
Okay, after this song?
Well, I'm going to disconnect this, but all the other speakers are still playing for us.
No. We can stop this.
Oh, you want to stop this?
Yeah. We can stop. I'll cue you on when we finish this song, all right?